What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season Gaming Bitcast E3 Summer Game Fest Special. I am your host, Ainsley Bowden, and man, we have one of my favorite panels I think we've ever had on the show for you today. First, I am joined by Dan Carlo Esposito IV, Esquire, Mr. Rodriguez. What is happening, my friend?
Damn, I forgot my last name. It wouldn't have fit, I don't think. I'm good, man. This is my Ubisoft just came on. It was so good.
Stop it. Stop it. We're just starting.
Yeah, smile. Oh man, I'm excited, man. This is an awesome panel. Could talk a little bit about E3. It's gonna be awesome. Good times. Let's do it.
No doubt. Yeah, and sorry everyone who's been waiting in the chat. We I think like everyone else, Ubisoft kind of ended with something we're going to touch on here in a second. So we were kind of all running and scrambling to get here. But anyway, thanks for coming out early. So I'm going to go around the horn here. Our audience obviously knows him well, host of the Xbox Expansion Pass and one of our Bitcast regulars in this house, Mr. Luke Lord, the Insipid Ghost. What's happening, brother?
Cheers, guys. Good to be here. Excited to be talking Xbox and E3 and all the goodness that's showing up this week. Appreciate being included on this panel. First time working with Rand. Great to see Archimedes back with him after too long. Lord Cog is here.
Way too long, yeah.
Way too long. Lord Cog and Miles are here. And then I'm with the guy who gave Biomutant a 9. And so that's exciting. I'm here.
I will start pulling. You're asking for it. You are asking for it. Keep it up.
Man, we're like 2 minutes in.
2 minutes in. And he's attacking me. I got shit to do, all right?
I apologize. Please continue, good sir.
You know, I deleted the Vault Boy pictures I had saved. You know what I mean?
Funny. I ain't gonna
Did anybody see the red shirt guy from the Rainbow Six Siege thing? Look just like Ains.
Damn.
Just like him. Y'all see him?
Y'all messy. I seen him. I know you took
as soon as you saw it.
Y'all messy today, man.
Damn, I don't even know what you're talking about. Now I'm getting insulted. I don't even know. Anyway, we're moving on.
Thank you.
Shouldn't even have introduced you anyway.
I told you before the show.
You did warn me. You did. I should listen to Dan more often, honestly. He's a good judge of character. I'm not, apparently. Moving on to someone who I do appreciate is our friend from across the pond, the content creator from Germany himself, Archimedes, another Bitcast regular, is back in the house. It's been too long, mate. How are you?
Thanks. I'm good. I'm excited. It's E3 week. I'm glad E3 is back. And even though the Ubisoft kickoff was probably not the best showcase, it's going to be a few exciting days. And I'm happy to be here today. And especially Miles, first time with you on the show. But Cog and Rand, it's been a while. And it's been really long with Luke that I've been on the show. I think like 10, 11 months, something like that. So
too long.
Yeah, too long. Yeah. Happy to be here.
Nice. Thanks, brother. I'm going to jump over real quick because it's Rand's first time here, so we're going to save him for last. So, Mr. Miles Dompier, you know him from Windows Central Gaming. He was actually on with us just a few weeks ago, one of my favorite people in the community and doing a fantastic job at the video content over there. What is happening, my friend?
What is going on, everyone? I'm stoked. This is a stacked squad. Some of my favorite people to hang out with, talk with.
And also Luke.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Oh, it's saucy. It's going to be a saucy show.
Everybody,
hell,
giving Dan a 7 right now.
I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to hanging. Oh, he's gone. R.I.P.
No, I'm not. All right.
Oh, my God.
I was going to go out on the high note, but all right.
Nice. And then introducing my favorite man in the house from the Iron Lords podcast. You know him well. He's been on many, many times. We've done a lot of content together. Mr. Cognito. What's happening, man?
Yo, Ainsley, the Bitcast, the Season Lords. Yo, great panel, man. I saw the lineup. I'm like, ooh, this is sizzling right here. We got a lot of my favorite people, tremendous content creators, man. Archimedes, has been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see you, the ghost. You know what I'm saying? You know how I feel about you. And Miles, man. Lord ASMR, man. Love your content. Man. You've been killing it. And of course, Dan Carlo. And just that's some guy named Rand, man, with a great podcast I was on yesterday with, man, and had a fantastic time. So, look, man, we got a lot to talk about. The hype's in the air. We got E3. We just came off Ubisoft. Bro, Super Bowl of gaming, bro. Let's get it, man. I'm excited.
I'm kind of annoyed we're not sharing this drink in person right now.
But, brother, you already
we'll be back next year.
Next year, we'll be back.
All right, and last, certainly not least, first time on the Bitcast, an absolute pleasure to have him on for this panel in particular, given, I could speak, it would help. Prior to one of the biggest Xbox shows I think they're going to have in their history tomorrow is Mr. Rand L. Thor himself. What is happening, my friend?
What is going on, guys? It's great to be on the show. Cog, you're gonna love this because when Ains asked me to be on, I was like, sure, but I need something from you first. And he's like, what do you need? It's like, listen, you don't got to say this publicly, but you can just whisper it in mean DMs. Just tell me Mass Effect 2 is better than Mass Effect 1. I'll be there with bells on. And he's like, listen, I'll do it. Just don't tell Cognito. And he's like, Mass Effect 2 is better. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there, man.
I'm glad that we finally, we clarified it. You know, we can move on now. The healing process can begin.
Hold on. Yeah, I need a receipt of this so I can frame it.
Yo, Red, that was perfect timing, bro.
Afterwards, I told him, hey, just to delete the DM. The proof is gone. So we
don't need to drag them.
We don't need the receipts, it's all good.
Let this be a message to everyone watching. If you create good friends in this community, you work hard, you put out some good content, you make connections, you can host your own show and get insulted by everyone on it. I mean, you can do that too. You can do that too.
That's right.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, baby.
Man, that was perfect timing, bro.
I was not expecting that.
I actually was thinking. I was like, that was pre-planned. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to tell Cock that Ainsley said Mass Effect 2 is better.
As Sarko said in the chat, sounds like that statement was made under duress. That's about the only time I would ever say that. Someone told me this morning, no joke, I think it was Graham. He's like, man, I trust your judgment on games. You're always spot on. He's like, except for Mass Effect 1. He's like,
so Mass Effect love.
All right, guys. Well, let's obviously for everyone in the chat, thank you for coming out, everyone. Man, it's going to be a great show. I'm really excited. Let me get these I saw a couple super chats coming right away. Let me just knock these out real fast. Fat Boy Horror in the house. What's up, man? 5 pound super chat. Howdy, lads. Can I charge these for that hour? I'll not get back. My God, Avatar looked nice, but who the hell wants that? Whoa, he's coming out the gate hard.
Damn. Okay. Firing out the gates, man.
Right out the gate. Thanks, Fat Boy, man. Always appreciate the support, brother. We'll talk about that in just a hot minute here. And then Mo, of course, in the house, my brother from Backlog Chronicles, always here, always supporting. There will be several immaculate conceptions in 9 months from the sexiness of this panel. Cheers, boys.
Wow.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah. Except, you know what I mean? I was gonna say he's spot on, except for this guy. You know what I mean?
That's unnecessary. That's unnecessary.
I deleted all that stuff.
Somebody's got to send me a picture of that guy in the red shirt from the Rainbow Six. Someone send it to me. I need it for purposes that will not to be explained.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns, young man. All right, let's get into it. So yeah, we just obviously we started late through the Ubisoft show. We normally start earlier in the day, but I knew Ubisoft was coming, and so we're going right after, obviously. And guys, as I told Miles, I think this was an iced tea, and then after the Ubisoft, I switched to beer because that is just not what I expected to see at all. I think Avatar kind of saved it at the end. Mario and Rabbids, leaked earlier this morning, which was unfortunate, obviously. But I don't know about you guys, man. 25 minutes plus of Rainbow Six content, a movie preview. Like, what are we doing? That did not feel like an E3 Ubisoft show to me.
No,
I was waiting for the Wii drummer to show up.
Yeah,
start going.
If we're comparing this to Super Bowl weekend, that was like the quarterback challenge. Wasn't that interesting? Didn't really matter. And at the end, there was a winner, I guess, but not really. No, it was what it was, man. I mean, some people like Rainbow Six, so I can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a big population, but that's a lot of time in an
a lot of time.
It's the annual show that I tune into and get always disappointed because they never reveal Splinter Cell. It's like, okay, this is going to be the year, right? No, it's still not. And you know what? We're doing anime this time with on Netflix. It's like, okay, you know what this really is? I think it's just, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about Summer Games Fest as well. But I think this is the state of the industry and what's ready to show. I think this year is going to be impacted heavily by everybody working from home. So I think a lot of the shows are going to be very lackluster And I think this represents that to the fullest. I mean, they got to show their games that are coming out, like Far Cry 6. Like, there wasn't even a gameplay; it was just a cutscene. And I love the main baddie in that, but it was like, okay. And then all the Rainbow Six stuff and Avatar, which was that in engine? Was that CGI? It wasn't gameplay, right? So I think it's just it's like this year is just going to be. I think we're going to be, when E3 is all said and done, we're going to be sitting here like, man, that was completely lackluster because of the scenario surrounding everything. So I don't know if that means keep your expectations in check for tomorrow.
Easy.
With what Xbox is doing. You never know.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Xbox is like,
we're going to make a separation here.
Xbox is going to be getting 15 studios tomorrow. So, like,
let's go. Only 15?
Only 15.
I've heard
maybe 30. The whole industry is going to bend the knee. I am like, out of all those games they showed, I'm looking forward to playing Rainbow Six Extraction. I've got a group of friends who really like the Rainbow Six Siege. Okay. So, like, I'm down for some co-op. Although I don't like this. I don't like the trend that Destiny started with this 3-player co-op crap.
No, me neither.
You know what I mean?
You got to get the smoke for your head. What's going on?
I'm just saying, like, 4-player co-op.
Right. They're the one who did it.
Oh, no. I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel you on you just talking about player count.
I'm just talking about player count.
Okay,
like, such an odd number.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
You find out who the 4th player is in your squad real fast.
Too fast.
When it comes down to it. And somebody's getting hurt. Somebody's getting hurt with these 3-player co-op games, and it sucks, you know?
Yeah. It always leads to tough conversations with the odd one out, and it's like, oh, man, everybody starts appearing offline.
Yeah.
When you jump online.
I'll hit you up next time.
Facts. You be like, yo, I got my 3, but the next one, bro. I got you. Yeah, I know. You're right, Red.
Yeah, you know I'm right. But
you're right.
The trailer for DLC for Far Cry 6, it's they're just trying to throw everything they possibly can. Mario and Rabbids look cool, even though I have no interest in actually playing that game because who wants to play on a Switch these days, anyways?
Nice.
But yeah, it was just I think when you think of like what the game development is, I think it was an okay show that they had. I think people are expecting they're putting this show in comparison to previous shows, and they're like, yeah, this is horrible. But I think for where the world is, I think this was decent, just like Summer Games Fest. But I don't think it's going to excite most people because most people don't really care about that. It's like, just show me the stuff and get me excited. And it doesn't really seem like so far that these companies are doing a good job of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're spot on with the state of the development for a lot of games. It's kind of weird to see because Ubisoft knocked it out of the park last year with 3 major releases with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs 3, and Immortals. This year they got Far Cry 6, and that's basically it. But then I gotta say one thing, even though there was really not much in there for me outside of Far Cry 6 and maybe the Valhalla DLC, at least they have shown gameplay for almost everything. And I do hope that we see that trend to be continued along everything else during E3 now. So
yeah. And I'll be the guy who stands up. I gave Biomutant a 9. We'll stay on that theme.
Stay on your square. There you go.
I am excited for Riders Republic. I like goofy kind of sports games like that where you can just play with a bunch of people and goof off. They're easy, to jump in and out of. So I'm looking forward to that one. The fact it's releasing literally right next to my birthday is cool. So I'll hit that up in September.
Yeah,
I think you're touching on something though there, Ains. A lot of these games look pretty good. They look pretty good given the circumstances, given a lot of the setup, a lot of the Ubisoft stuff. It looks good, but it doesn't make for a good show the way they presented it. But Rainbow Six Extraction looks intriguing. A lot of Gears of War Hivebusters vibes in there. I know I'm not the first person to say that, but like it really does look a lot like Hivebusters. But I'm gonna play that. Riders Republic is gonna bring a lot of people in. That game looks bright, colorful, and inviting. I think to a lot of people. Rocksmith Plus, they spent a lot of time on that, and I was surprised by it. Yeah. But I mean, that's a neat concept. It's not for me, but it was neat. They really doubled down on Rainbow Six in both Extraction and Quarantine, which is far too much time for my taste. But I mean, even Far Cry 6, the stuff they showed for that continues to look good. Selling DLC before it comes out, a little awkward, but they showed good things in this Ubisoft presentation. It was just too drawn out. And I think that works against the genuine hype that their games might have earned, particularly given this kind of pandemic creation mode that they've been in, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because, watching Ubisoft shows and actually physically going to them in person, it's always an uneven vibe because it's like I remember going there and being disgusted every time Just Dance is shown. And I'm just like,
just going to say they bring out like a mascot and 40 people dancing on the stage. You're like, what is even happening right now?
We know the vibes, right? Ames, when we go to the show with Ubisoft. And it's like, but then again, when you sit down and you look at the analytics of it, and it's like those titles actually do really well for them. So it's like you're kind of forced to deal with stuff that you don't like necessarily as a gamer, but at the same time, I understand. I've learned to ease back my hate on the Ubisoft show. So for me, I am I'm a part-time Siege guy, like Rand said, but I actually like Quarantine, man. I like the PvE. I always felt PvE content was missing from it. Don't get me wrong. Siege is a great game, and it's got this loyal following on the PvP scene. It's great. But I like the whole rescue aspect. I thought that was cool. I agree with Luke. They did spend a little too long with it. They were really selling it. But I did enjoy it selfishly with that. I think with Watch Dogs, we got some more content. I saw Aiden Pierce. I saw some Chicago vibes in there. So I was like, all right, let's see what's going on with that. The surprises, obviously, they're still going to continue Ghost Recon support. What really surprised me was Assassin's Creed Valhalla getting like a year 2 content release and kind of just sticking with that as opposed to the annual iteration that they do. So overall, I mean, it was good. Mario Rabbids, like you said, Ains, a little unfortunate that leaked. It was expected, but I mean, just to have it kind of leak before it did take the air out a little bit. And then I think the last thing for me was Avatar looked good, but again, what really is it? Like, is it? Well, until we get this is the vertical slice. You know what I'm saying?
So not to interrupt you, but Luke,
go for it.
Luke Shinobi just posted on Twitter, so it's first person, which I wouldn't have expected.
Oh,
it's open. It's open world, and it's a standalone story. So it's a first person single player open world game, and it's a collaboration between Disney and Lightstorm Entertainment, whoever they are. I don't know.
Well, shout out to them. That was a surprise. I was hoping for some Splinter Cell, but once again, just have to deal with
standalone story in 2022 when the next Avatar movie comes out. I can't believe that.
I know the timing.
I wonder if they're going to tie it in somehow.
First person seems like an odd choice when you got a world that gorgeous. Say what you will about the movies, like or dislike, but that world is beautiful. It's just stunning. And I actually, in that trailer, there were some gorgeous displays of fidelity, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this looks like on an OLED Series X, that kind of thing. But
to Rand's point, I just checked; it was apparently in-engine. The Snowdrop engine looks beautiful.
And it's next gen only, I think Dan said.
Oh, okay.
And
or current gen only, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
We accidentally blew by it. We accidentally blew by it, but Lord Cog was lamenting just now the absence of one Sam Fisher. And I think we need to pour one out for all the people that saw that anime stuff or that whatever that was and thought that he would be back.
Welcome to the world of being a Castlevania fan, y'all. All right?
I think it worse.
That's the reality I've been living in for the last decade, but yeah, no, I'm happy there was no Splinter Cell just because I like to see Rand squirm. So for me, not a deal breaker. But yeah, the show.
You got something going on behind the scenes with Jazz because Jazz loves breaking my balls over the fact that there's no Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it's just
where
like I don't feel strongly either way. So if you get some suffering out of it, that brings me joy. And so,
okay, Dream Crusher.
But yeah, like Luke said, the show is just too long. Like, the deep dives are cool if that's your thing, if that's your game, but having deep dive after deep dive after deep dive when
that should be in the pre or post show.
Yeah, 50% of those games you don't care about necessarily. It felt long. It felt real long. So it started off strong. Extraction looked rad. I don't know if any of you played GTFO on PC. It's kind of it's like the AAA version of that. It's this it's like Hive Busters with some more kind of like stealth Left 4 Dead-ish elements. So that's what Extraction keeps reminding me of, but nobody's really played GTFO. So I'm excited to see like a big budget version of that game because it was a cool idea. Execution was just kind of middling though.
Yeah.
Ains, also, I was kind of surprised, man. No Division 2 Heartland. I thought maybe we get a little, maybe an update. I mean, with Ghost Recon, they even say, hey, we're going to be working on content's coming. But I always find it interesting that like Division 2, that even though they said behind the scene that they're still going to support it, it's been very quiet publicly. So I was hoping maybe we get a little. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, it's kind of that too. So they got Heartland coming, and they doubled down like a week or two ago, saying that the new mode that they're making for Division 2 itself is coming later this year. It's still on track. So it's kind of strange it didn't show up. Why would you not take? And that's a big community. Division 2 community is big. Why would you not take like 3 minutes to show something? Away from the 20 minutes you spent on Rainbow Six.
Especially considering the boost the game got earlier this year when that 60 FPS patch dropped. Everyone was playing it, and
and it's a free new mode. It's something good that people would be excited from Ubisoft. So I don't know.
Very weird the way they're handling that franchise for some reason. I as a Destiny guy, I respect it. I still like the game. I still think the game is solid, and I hope like either some type of Game Pass deal gets worse. Something needs to happen with Division. Like I just don't want to see it completely go away because I think the foundation for future things are there. But it was interesting to see. It's like the way they treat it is getting into the Splinter Cell category now, Rand. I don't know. Right? It's like has it fallen out of favor with the brass that much?
The Division. I mean, they're doing the free-to-play game, right?
Yeah,
the Heartlands and stuff. I was just thinking, since Avatar's first person, how much you bet it plays a lot like Far Cry?
That worries me. That worries me a lot.
Why?
Because Far Cry, I think I've said it on a few different shows at this point.
That's what you're going to say.
No, I think it's just more of the same, but better than before. Consistently, more of the same, but better than before. That feels very little is special about it. Now, I like Far Cry a lot, but I no longer get excited about it at all because it's just more of the same, just better than before. And that lack of ingenuity, that lack of newness turns me away. And so if Avatar is more Far Cry in that Avatar world, that'll rope me in for the sake of the world and the visuals and the sci-fi element. But I don't know that it'll keep me there the way that some Ubisoft games are able to do. And so that's, I think, where my trepidation comes in there. I'm just a little nervous about that. I'm also nervous because Avatar is a strange franchise. It's a very strange franchise. The movie hit. It changed filmmaking in all these ways. People loved it or didn't love it. Whatever. James Cameron made a ton of money on it. And then it just went away. And we heard about it. So there's got to be franchise fatigue for this thing with one property and a throwaway 360 game.
Well, I think everyone knows, maybe not, that there's 4 movies coming. And they're all filmed.
I didn't know they were all done. I didn't know they were done filming.
He filmed them together, so they're set to come out.
It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings approach, where they made all the movies filmed them together, and then just the CGI stuff and so on is done later.
I didn't know they were done filming.
Yeah, so it's like next year, and then it starts all 4 coming out.
It's interesting.
I mean, cool. Again,
I just don't know what they're doing with 4 more movies, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's gonna be a 7. Depending
on who you ask.
Yeah.
All right. I think we spent enough time on Ubisoft. We're Rainbow Sixing it over here. Fair. Let Ubisoft move on.
Hey,
by the way,
really
I know there's got to be. Go ahead.
You want to announce the giveaways we're going to do here?
If you didn't interrupt me, I was.
Oh, well, there you go. Same mind right
here.
You
let a man speak.
Look at this.
I like this. This pleases me.
So we're talking about Ubisoft. So I'm sure there's some people in the chat who Far Cry fans. Marion, the Mad, everyone knows him in the community. He actually just donated a copy of Far Cry 5 on Xbox this morning. So for this show, so anyone who just wants to play Far Cry 5 and hasn't played it, getting pumped for Far Cry 6, what have you, just post something in the chat.
Yeah, just tell me. I'll give it to the first person.
There you go. Just
right there.
Just mention it to Dan. We'll give it away. We're also going to be giving away some Xbox gift cards here shortly once we get into the core of the show, which will be Xbox Bethesda. So, but before we do that, I want to touch on Summer Game Fest because Miles and I are going to take over the show for about half an hour.
Let's go, baby.
About Elden Ring.
Let's go.
Let's talk about Elden Ring. Because I know Luke, I know Dan, I know Cog aren't into it. I don't know about Rand or Arch. Where are you guys at on the Souls games?
I love Sekiro.
Okay.
Sekiro's the best game From Software's made, in my opinion.
It might be true. It's not my favorite, but it might be true.
I don't like Dark Souls. I didn't like Dark Souls 1. I did enjoy Bloodborne. But I adored Sekiro. So I'm more of the kind of person who likes the fast-paced combat of Sekiro versus the slow plotting nature of Dark Souls. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing what Elden Ring, if it's where it kind of falls in that. Is it more like Dark Souls, or is it have some Sekiro stuff? And I will say, like the enemies, the world that they always build are always super interesting and visually appealing and just different from a lot of games that are out there. But for me, it just comes down to that, like, am I walking really slow with a shield and a sword and doing all these things, or can I get in there like a ninja and just like go crazy? Like I don't know. That's why I love Sekiro so much, because it was just so much fun to play.
You're
and I don't care.
Miles in the heart right now.
Well, Miles giving me crap about Splinter Cell. I'm gonna give him crap about Dark Souls and Elden Ring and From. And then they give us the date, right? And it's like, Miles, I hope it's gonna get delayed again, most likely. So
I mean,
don't get too attached to January 22nd.
From Software historically is pretty good with their release dates. I know this year's weird, so there's no guarantee, but the track record of From delaying games there's not a lot of evidence of that. It could be delayed. Sure.
Most of their games come out in March.
Yeah, that's the release date I was expecting, honestly.
We'll get a 2-month delay. They'll say just for fun.
The
other question I have for you, Miles, since you're the expert, is this releasing on next gen day one? I really haven't seen any confirmation. They did say PS5 get a free upgrade, Series X a smart delivery.
Yep.
But there were rumors that the last gen version would come out first, and then the next gen version would come out later. And I haven't seen anybody really confirm or deny that was the case. If there's going to be the next gen version and a proper next gen version, not like what Cyberpunk 2077 did. Do you have any insights on that?
So I've heard similar rumors. The original kind of rumblings in the basically the dark web that is Elden Ring discussions was that there was going to be a current gen version first, but they were targeting fall. So what I had heard, and again, I couldn't confirm whether or not this was the reality, is they were trying to potentially get Elden Ring out this fall as a current gen version, and then early next year they would have the next gen updates. My assumption here, and I hope we get clarity from PR, is that this is going to be both versions launching simultaneously. We saw the console names, the Series X, PS5 on the basically ad for it, but we haven't said these are the performance enhancements you're going to get on the Series X and the PS5. So don't know for sure, but I imagine they are going to release both simultaneously because of the fact that this will be pretty much the first time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if Sekiro did this, but their game launched simultaneously on both platforms and PC. There's typically a delay with the PC version.
Yeah. Well, I feel for anybody who's going to try to play this game on the Xbox One or the PS4. I'm sorry. Because it's going to be 30 frames, or maybe it's going to be target 60, and I don't know, but
no, you're right.
Give me the next gen version. That is exactly
right. If it's not upgraded on day one, I'm buying it on PC 100%.
I can't imagine them doing that. I mean, the next gen consoles will be out for more than a year by then. That would be really weird.
Yeah, that would be an odd, bad choice. But
I'm all in on cross-gen. I appreciate that. I think it's valuable. I think it's important, particularly given the circumstances that this current gen launched in. But a game like Elden Ring deserves to be seen with the best of the best in its availability. And that looks like it's going to be a next-gen game. And we've seen too many examples that I don't want to rehash, but too many examples of games that launched late into this gen that should have just been now current gen games. They launched late into last gen, and it just shouldn't have been there. They didn't belong there.
Still, I think the player count is just sadly still too attractive to a lot of these publishers, where it's just they just don't want to make the break. And I don't know if it's more of a the generational thing we know with the chip shortage and consoles not being available, if that plays a factor, or just let's just be honest, the almighty dollar as far as the amount of consoles. So even if it's a dumbed down port, they're looking at probably that potential sale. And I agree, obviously I'm not a big Souls guy. I thought this game really showed well. It looked phenomenal.
You watched that 4K trailer?
Yeah, bro. Hey, look, listen, I firmly admit, I'm not a Souls guy, not because I don't think the games are good. I just know that I don't need that level of stress in my life. So my whole thing is just I respect you guys, leave it to professionals, but I have to admit, it looked really good. The ambiance, the world, was it George R. Martin on it as well, as far as the, it looks like
it was weird that they didn't mention him at all
anymore.
Yeah,
they kind of like it was like a casual screen, JPEG, he's on it, and I guess some type of advisory role. But listen, I tweeted it out when I saw it. I'm like, man, I felt for you guys. Like the soul, like I felt the tears of joy, like finally, because I know what it is to have something like so long anticipated, and it's like you've been teased, so it would be the equivalent of like me and Rand waiting for Splinter Cell, like finally they did it. Like we would be emotional, breaking down, going crazy. So that part of the community, seeing everybody excited, that was cool. That was really cool. But yeah, I'm down to hear you guys break it down, and what's your thoughts in the hierarchy, the pantheon of Souls games.
You got to be careful because we could probably talk way too long about
I know,
it. So,
open up a whole can of worms that you can't close right now.
Yeah, I saw that Vadi. I mean, anyone who knows the Souls community knows Vadi Vidya, who is the #1 creator. I mean, literally Bandai Namco posts on his posts.
Oh wow.
In the community, and he already put his video out yesterday breaking down a lot of the details from the trailer. So there's a lot here. Like someone told me yesterday, it's like, oh, it just looks like Dark Souls 4. I'm like, dude, there's so much they showed in that trailer that's never been in a Souls game before. Like that's obviously someone who doesn't really know, you know what I mean? I think I told him to stick to Battlefield. I think that was Hassan actually. But yeah, man, I saw this, and they obviously, everyone was thinking, okay, Jeff teased before the show that he had Elden Ring, or Grubb, I think, said he had Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's been a running joke that basically every time there's basically any game showcase from anyone, especially Jeff Keighley, like Elden Ring. So the last several years, every time, if you look at his Twitter feed before any show he does, it's just Elden Ring spam as far as the eye can see. So it's just been this running joke that he's basically been in gamer prison while we wait for this Elden Ring gameplay reveal.
And the feedback on it has been tremendous, right? Like the amount of views and likes and everything else. I mean, it's massive. I think I tell this to Dan all the time when we joke about it, is people underestimate how big that franchise is. It's huge. And that community is way bigger than people realize, despite its, being so famous for being so difficult.
I don't think I've ever seen such a cult following leading up to a reveal in my life for any game ever. Like, it's not going to be the biggest game of all time, but the discourse and the energy and the conspiracy theories surrounding Elden Ring and this reveal have been pretty wild to watch. As much as I've been wanting to see it, it's kind of been fun to watch. The Elden Ring Reddit is just the most entertaining place to be on the internet because of how weird and passionate and all the theories that are going around. But to see it finally revealed, it was such a moment. And as Rand mentioned earlier, I think Dark Souls 3 is probably my favorite RPG of all time. I do believe that Sekiro is probably the best game that From Software has made fundamentally. And Elden Ring to me is a Dark Souls game created in a post-Sekiro world. So you saw some of the speed, some of the mobility, the horseback riding that was introduced in Sekiro, not for you as the character, but enemies riding on horseback. And that was kind of them testing the waters of what that looks like. So now you have this huge world, seeing the horse jump off a cliff onto the ground seamlessly as you're just exploring this world, seeing the horse jump up like a 90-degree wall onto a mountain. Like the scope and scale of this game seems so much bigger than anything they've done before. And it's got the customization that I want from Dark Souls. It's got co-op, but it's got a little bit of that Sekiro speed to it, a little bit of that kind of flair. So I'm ready. I'm beyond ready to play this game.
You can tell by the way you're speaking about it, man. I love it.
It's funny because we're talking about Summer Games Fest, but you're only talking about Elden Ring. Is that because nobody wants to talk about how the rest of the show was?
Evil Dead, baby. Okay, let me.
Evil Dead. Who said that?
Man, that's fine.
Oh, I got one other game I liked. I got one.
I got one too.
I was joking because we did a live stream about Summer Game Fest, and I said they're going to save the two most hype reveals for the very end. It's going to be Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell, followed by Elden Ring. And no shit, that was the finale of Summer Game Fest.
Nailed it.
Jeff looked into my soul, looked into my eyes, and said, "This one's for you, Miles. This one's for you."
That's kind of creepy, man. You better be careful.
So I know not everyone's hyped about Evil Dead, but
No,
Dude,
no,
I
no,
am.
bro. Miles,
Dude.
I'm with you.
I'm
That
with
looked
you.
good.
That showed so well.
Yes.
That game looked so.
So
Even
It
if you
had
don't like
Easter
Evil
eggs for the
Dead.
fans. It had
Oh,
Army of
yeah.
Darkness references. I was all
Bro,
over it.
a lot of fan
damn.
service.
It
I'm
looked
with you.
good. It looked good in a way that no one was expecting, right? Like no one was expecting that level of quality for Evil Dead. I expected some fan campiness and some silliness, but not
I
nearly
expected Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That type of
some
game.
serious jank. Some
Yeah.
serious jank.
And it looked very clean. And so I was very happy for the Evil Dead fans when I saw that. And I was just waking up because the moment I saw Kojima show up in the show, I said, well, Jeff's going to be waxing poetic for just a bit here. And I took a good snooze in between. It was great. It was great. But
talked
yeah,
about how creative he is for like 5 minutes. You didn't enjoy that?
I was asleep. You know, Evil Dead was a surprise to be sure. And no game was specifically for me out of the full lineup, but I was rather pleased with the show overall compared to what I was expecting. And I guess I was burned out after that dragged out weeks of it last year. And
Expectations are everything, man.
They really are, because I was pleased with the show overall, despite not being thrilled with it, if that makes sense.
It just had some pacing issues. If I have a gaming show, I don't want to see musical performances. Yeah, and as much as I like Weezer, I don't want to see them in a gaming show or an orchestra and stuff like that. What I found interesting during that show is how Amazon heavily advertised
heavily, right?
Heavily. I have never seen them so aggressive in the gaming space, to be honest.
We said that a few weeks ago, is like Amazon's sponsoring this, so clearly they had something to show. So they're going to be pushing that MMO real damn hard here in the West, because that's what it is, right? They're pushing that MMO.
Yeah, Lost Ark.
Ark. Thank you. That Smilegate's making, but I believe Amazon is helping bring it to the West. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how I understood it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it just very interesting across the entire show. Amazon being so present in a major gaming event. I haven't seen that before. And yeah, well, there were a few little gems in there. I thought, what was it? Escape from Tarkov. Looked really good. Was really surprised by that, how good it actually looked. I was glad to hear we get more Borderlands.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm waiting over here.
Any Wonderland. I'm a big looter shooter,
I'm all about it.
So yeah.
Damn, there's no Borderlands fans on this panel. What am I doing?
Well, I mean, that
I like
cast was
Borderlands.
stacked.
I like Borderlands 2 a lot. I didn't really care for Borderlands 3.
Well, that's
but
the thing.
Wonderlands looks special.
This is literally the one of the best expansion, well, probably the best expansion for Borderlands. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragons Key from Borderlands 2. This game literally takes place in that environment. That's the whole thing. And Borderlands fans have been asking for that for years. So the fact that they're actually building an entire game off of it is, dude, man, I'm stoked.
Yeah, me too. Even though we didn't get to see gameplay, but we all know how it looks.
Yeah, we know what
with
it's
that
gonna look
engine.
like.
Yeah.
So you're saying the show was great at the beginning and at the end, and everything else in the middle was just whatever. Like the show could have been 10 minutes long, and you would have been happy.
The
sounds
Overwatch
right.
character model spinning, Rand?
What is going on with Overwatch 2, man? What is going
What
on
about
with
the
that game?
Valorant? You guys saw the Valorant tease. That was weird.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, there was a lot of filler in the middle.
The Jeff Keighley face mask in Among Us?
There was
on.
there was
There's
one
fire.
indie game that stood out to me was that Planet of
Lana.
Yeah.
I was just on my joint.
that looked really
beautiful.
cool.
That
looked really cool.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And I mean, Chivalry, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Chivalry.
Chivalry too.
Chivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that really looked good. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
played
people
it
are
last
playing it.
night.
I mean, my stepson's been playing the hell out of it. He likes it a lot. But
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I've heard. I saw your clip. Clip from
'cause
yesterday.
You know what it is? I shot the deal as Zark was playing with them last night. It doesn't take itself seriously. Like it is just complete foolishness, and you just running out, seize them, and it's just. But it's actually multiplayer done in like this pseudo story way where it's like stages, defend this or don't let them breach the walls, and then it gets deeper and deeper depending on which side wins. And then as you get to the final part, which is like defend the king, and the king is like an AI. He's fighting, and while the other opponent team is charging in. I think it was like 64 players online, cross play.
Yeah,
graphically looked good on
it
Series
seems like
X.
it launched pretty well for a smaller dev. Like,
For a small team, I was very impressed. But to like you guys said with the show, I mean, I'm kind of with Luke in the sense that, with last year, I'll be honest, I wasn't really a fan of the format of Summer Game Fest last year. I just felt it was a little bit all over the place. So I did like the fact that it was streamlined. I like the fact that it was a little bit more concise. Some standouts for me was that obviously the Back for Blood, which we're gonna talk about that kind of got out there as far as Game Pass now. So that's a huge get. Those are the Left 4 Dead guys. I love that series. I just thought that for the most part, I think Jeff did a good job. It was interesting to see those guys from Call of Duty now. They can make their own Deviation Studio. Where PlayStation, see what's going on with them. But look, it was like what Miles said. Everything was built up for that Elden Ring. The final couple of beats to really get the crowd going and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was a solid show with some nice gems, like Archimedes said, in between. So you just pick and choose what you like.
But what if it didn't have that Elden Ring at the end, though?
Evil Dead, baby.
Evil Dead would be. I don't think you'd be talking about it like the same way you are, Miles.
No doubt stole that show.
No
doubt.
I did see the Grubsters tweet about there being some sort of story about why it wasn't at Xbox's show and why it was at Jeff's.
I'll let Jeff dive on that conversation grenade if he wants to.
Yeah, of course.
Just a fanboy dumpster fire there, but
the points he was making about it sounded very PlayStation versus Xbox, but it made sense to show Elden Ring in a console agnostic space. At least that was the argument that he was making in one of the game messes that
I saw it,
stirred there. But there is a logic to it, at least in the way that it was presented. And I have no knowledge, and I would not pretend to.
And I'm not being smart. Like if you look at Sekiro, right? That was Xbox marketing. It was at the Xbox showcase, and it was their best-selling game at launch. And it won Game of the Year Game Awards. So why would not showing it at the Xbox why would that hold it back? I guess is what I'm saying.
It's a good question.
Maybe because somebody didn't want it at the Xbox show.
Well, there's that.
And what are you implying?
But angering Sony did not work out well for Cyberpunk. I mean, how many PlayStations are out there? Cyberpunk may have launched broken or not, and that's not what I'm going at, Ains. But it is still not available on the digital marketplace.
Did you know I was given this chair? And because
I heard that you were given a corporate shill. But it's still not available digitally. How much revenue are they losing out on by frustrating Sony there? If that's how the industry works, and frankly, I don't know, and I don't care if that is, but that there is an argument to be said that frustrating the highest selling console maker is a something to consider if you are a business. That said, I don't subscribe to that mentality, and that's not how I look at it. But I believe that was the logic that he was putting forth.
People flexing their market dominance in a way to, retaliate. I don't know. I mean, that's something, Jeff has talked about a little bit, is that, maybe there was a scenario where, because I've publicly said that I expected this 100% at the Xbox Games Showcase. For a long time, there was no doubt in my mind that this would be at the Xbox Game Showcase. And, we had Phil Spencer flying out, checking out the game, talking about how ambitious this was, really talking up this game, really making it a point to let you know that he went and saw this game.
Right.
And there were all these other, it was revealed on an Xbox stage. I can almost guarantee you that Phil Spencer and Xbox wanted this to be on the Xbox stage, to have this reveal, because as we saw with Summer Game Fest, that reveal made Summer Game Fest. The reveal of Elden Ring gameplay is worth a lot to a lot of people. And I know I can't comment and say whether or not this is confirmed or any of that, but I imagine if you're Sony, you don't want the brand association with that. You don't want Xbox to have this reveal, because I'm in a position right now where, it might not be the best selling game, but I think the Elden Ring gameplay reveal might be the biggest thing at all of E3. Like that's how big it is for some people in some groups. So if you're Sony, you don't want that. You really, really don't want that.
Fair point.
What about the argument that I don't know who brought it up, but I've seen it a lot on social media. Microsoft might want that E3 showcase to be everything you've seen today is coming day and date into Game Pass. What if Elden Ring is not coming to Game Pass, and that was the reason why they were not?
That's not the case.
I was going to say,
because Battlefield 6 is going to be there, and that's not as of right now coming to Game Pass. So I agree with Rand there. That's definitely not the case.
It's this whole discussion is interesting. Again, I'm with you, Miles. Like, I don't want to get too crazy as far as, corporate espionage and
just,
you know what I'm saying? But we got to be real, right? We got to be real about the situation. And one thing about Sony, they do, they're very good as far as optics and as far as brand attachment. And I think it's one of those things that it's possible, right? They could say to themselves, hey, Elden Ring is a title that, we kind of want on an agnostic stage, as opposed to, the casual fan who might watch the Xbox, Bethesda conference and say, oh, wow, it was on their thing. Because I think a lot of the casual fans, sometimes if you see it on the stage, you just they may assume that it's just for that platform, and you kind of have that brand association. Yeah. So it's possible. I defer to you guys as far as following Elden Ring and how it was revealed and stuff like that. So now that you're saying like, okay, yeah, it was revealed on the Microsoft stage, Phil showed tremendous, investment in the title, so when you see that from the higher ups, one would assume, right, that they want to have their brand associated with it. And then for it to be revealed in this state, it is interesting. I'm curious to, if we ever get a book down the road about, Elden Ring and the development,
it's just a fact. There's a lot of speculation of this stuff that I'm sure is untrue, right? But it's just a fact that there are things that go on similar to this that we don't know about.
Don't know about.
At the end of the day, it's business, and it's big business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dollars that we can't even comprehend go into these kind of deals.
Exactly. And the last point I'll make is that also, again, regardless if it's Game Pass or not, Game Pass is a disruptive force. And I think it's one of those things that, again, not saying Sony confirmed or denied did anything. I'm just saying that, Sony will have to come up with ways to combat that as far as from development, say, hey, as far as putting your game there, as far as maybe some type of financial incentive and things of that nature. So it's what I call it's the warfare behind the scenes, I'm to me, that stuff's very intriguing. So I'm curious.
Me too. I really find it interesting. At the end of the day, I don't really care. Because I'm going to play the game day one, wherever I need to play it. But
hard same.
So like I said, if it's not optimized, I'll be on my PC. Wherever it's going to play best is where I'm going to be, period. But it is interesting if nothing else. Go ahead, Luke.
Well, I was just going to say, as frustrating as that conversation might be for some, those that were maybe really hoping it would be specifically in the Xbox camp, Microsoft absolutely delivered in their pre-E3 showcase, and they're recording there with doubling down on the game space, their commitment to gaming as a company overall, which was a lot for those in the Xbox space to celebrate. And a lot for, I think, gamers to celebrate too, particularly given the investments that they're making into xCloud and reaching more gamers outside of the console space, which I'm sure 6 or 7 people were very upset about. But really and truly, they spoke volumes about their commitment to the gaming space in the future. And I thought that was a great way to kick off the E3 season, as it were, with that pre-recorded conference and that news of seeing Satya Nadella, the guy.
You're jumping the gun here.
You're jumping the gun, Luke.
I hold nothing back, sir. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. We saw a lot of kind of some inside.
Oh, Dan's
stuff.
here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, my dog. I have no control over him.
It's almost like you could close a different room so he couldn't get into that room.
Yeah, that would turn out really, really poorly for whatever was in that room. Regardless, from now on, we're just going to take bets at the beginning of the show as to what point and what timestamp something will happen where, like, my ceiling will fall down or something will explode in my kitchen. Anyway, we kind of saw some inside stuff, with the whole Apple versus Epic stuff. We started seeing some of what goes on inside.
Yeah.
So.
Which is crazier than I think we imagined.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, this is not out of the realm of possibility.
Sure.
So whatever. That's the thing. We're all going to be able to play wherever it is. I mean, I'm not, obviously, because I suck at stuff like this, but it's great to see, like Cog said, that the fans of these Souls-like games are going to be, regardless of where they are going to be able to play, and this has been one of those that's everybody's been looking forward to so much. I'm excited for you guys a little bit. A little bit.
You tune into the stream.
Just a pinch.
Right, just a little. I mean,
All right. So we got Kojima talking about being creative for 5 minutes. You know how he does. And then he showed Death Stranding. So I'm going to leave that one alone. No one else excited for Salt and Sacrifice? I know it's a small game. There's my man. See?
Salt and Sanctuary, phenomenal 2D. So again, Souls-like. You give me a Souls-like, I'm going to play it.
Souls-like, of course. Miles is
Bubbling with enthusiasm.
Actually, what I find most, is a 2D Souls-like, and it's an awesome game, by the way. But what's really cool about the game is made by a husband and a wife, which I always find cool.
I love that. Yeah.
It's just funny to see, people who love Souls games get excited for any game that's sort of Souls related in any regard. Like, hey man, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, it's Souls like, I'm totally there.
Why are you stealing their joy, Ray?
I mean,
Miles came after me with
it's a successful formula.
That's
like me saying, like, I don't get how anyone could be excited about any stealth game ever. They're all the same. They're all the same for a third-person stealth game.
Miles, be easy. I was with you.
I was about to say, this is what Love and Mass Effect 2 does to you.
Yeah, this is it. Lines have been drawn.
You down.
I mean, I don't know if that's as worse as like trying to get gamer cred because I beat Dark Souls and I'm a real gamer.
Here we go.
I don't buy into that. Okay.
Red, we doing it?
I don't buy into that. All right, I'm not a.
But there are plenty that do. They're like,
there are plenty of people
hey,
like
did you beat Dark Souls and Sekiro? Nah, bro. You ain't good as me then, because I did. Here's my cred and my card.
There's my gamer resume. I have beaten every single From Software RPG. I think you'll find I'm very qualified.
Say it with your chest, Miles. Let's go. Gamer cred. Let's go.
Your chest.
Let's go. Bro, but Red, I feel, it is, I have to give you Souls, like, they wear it with a badge of honor. Like, how dare you talk to them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because but in respect, though, the games are difficult, man. And I'm with Dan. Like, I am too old. I don't have nothing to prove to anyone. If you guys are great, knock yourself out. I bend thy knee to all of that. But I'm not doing that. I see it. I mean, I respect to the people that could do it. But I will say this. One quick sidebar. I want to ask you guys, how do you Souls fighters feel about, like, the whole, I never asked you this, like the easy mode thing. I know it's a side.
I was literally about to bring that up because these are also the people that are like, in easy mode in Dark Souls. It'll tamper with the creative vision of From Software. We can't have everybody playing it.
Creators' intentions, Rand.
So Rand just spoke for me. So
I know Ace feel like that. Ace is hardcore.
Okay.
I know.
So Ains, you're in that camp.
Let me see if Miles agrees.
Okay.
Before he speaks. That way I can get my moment in to see if he agrees or not.
I'll say what I like about the formula first before I comment on the easy mode. Okay. What I like about From Software games is I always find it kind of overwhelming when they throw like 5 difficulties at you at the start of a game, and you're like, I don't know, am I cheating myself if I don't put it on a harder difficulty? Is it going to be too easy? Is it going to be too hard? So what I really like about FromSoft is you don't have that option. This is the game. We have designed it this way because we feel like this is the best balance. That being said, I am definitely not in the don't you put an easy mode in my games, okay? It's a bad, like you said, some people wear it as a badge of honor. I beat this, so I'm a better gamer than you. I don't really care if there's an easy mode. I also, if it is extra work and they have to fundamentally redesign the game to do it, I also don't really care if they don't do that. But I'm definitely not someone who's like, no easy mode. Sorry, get good, gamers. That's what it's about.
I gotta hear A's. I feel him. He's dying inside. I want to hear his hardcore.
I'm a little more stern than Miles on it, but I'm not unreasonable because what I was gonna say is exactly that. Is I like the fact that they say, "Here's our game. You enjoy it or you don't enjoy it." It's that simple. The other thing is, to his point, whether you realize it or not, right? These games are designed very specifically, like to the frame, with their moves and actions and weapons and everything else. And when you start talking about, all right, we need to make that 50%, I'm just making this up, but make it 50% easier. How do you do that? Do you add frames in the roll to where you don't get hit, more iframes? Do you change the way the weapons work? There's probably a lot of nonsense they'd have to go through to do that for varying difficulty levels. I'm not a designer. I don't know. So I'm fine with them just saying, look, that's not worth it to us. We have a community that likes these games. If you can't beat it, it's not a big deal. I'm definitely not one of the guys that's like, oh, I beat Dark Souls. Like there's way harder games than Dark Souls. It's not that hard. It's really not. There's way harder games on the market than Dark Souls.
Oh, wow. Coming off with big gamer energy here.
No, but I mean, there are.
No, he flexing. He flexing. He'll let him fool you. I know this, man.
You know it's true. The games we grew up with are
Ninja Gaiden.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
We've had this discussion here. And it's like, we grew up with the days of the one life and the no save and the no, you know what I mean? No save state.
It's not even.
You know what I mean? So to me, no one can talk to me about how much of a gamer they are. Like play Ghosts and Goblins back in the day.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Super Ghosts
just
and
talking
Goblins.
about it this week.
Oh.
Just talking about it.
Exactly.
Those games are way harder.
Harder. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny to me when gamers this generation of gamers try to throw that in your face. I see you, Mr. Bad Flexing. I see you in that chat. But but at the end of the day, like it's funny to me. But I do feel what Rand is saying. Like some people really throw it in other gamers' face. Like
they do, and it's
talk
obnoxious.
to me if you didn't beat Dark Souls.
Because I'll be like, I don't really care for Dark Souls, and they'd be like, you're just not good enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Well, it's the same as people who are like, oh, I didn't like that game. They're like, you just didn't understand it. It's like, I can
it's too big brain.
The game, fine. It's just a bad game. Like, that's not
I would never be to somebody like, hey, did you beat Returnal? And then be like, well, I did, so I'm better. Like, dumb. You know what I mean? Did you beat Returnal in under 20 hours like I did? Because if you didn't, then you suck. You know?
It's just weird though, because that accessibility option, that easy option, it is the accessibility of like Jedi Fallen Order that eased me into the genre. And then I realized I just don't like the aesthetic of Bloodborne and Dark Souls and whatnot. That's just not for me. But the games are great. I just don't care to spend my time there.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's the big thing. And so Rand's making a good point. So is Miles, though. Sometimes when you see difficulty ratings, and I don't know if I'm cheating myself or not. And so I always appreciate when devs put in, this is the intended, or this is what we envisioned. I always appreciate those things because trying to boot up Dying Light for the first time, it gives you 43 different options for difficulty. And it's like, I don't know. What do I want here?
By the way, since Mr. Bad Take is in the chat,
God, come on,
let's just double down on the fact that Souls 3 is better than Bloodborne. It's just
Dark Souls 3 is better than Bloodborne. Yes.
Oh, y'all trying to get him to pull up.
Last time
we're just gonna have it every time he's in the chat. So
I mean, I'm sorry. That is it. Bloodborne is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal game. Not trying to take anything away from Bloodborne. I just think from a design perspective, from a world design perspective, from a gameplay loop, from a narrative perspective, what else can I throw out there? That it's a better game.
Yeah.
But,
Hear that, Bad Damn. Anyway, shout out to my man Joseph, Josh Reddit, Lutz Gaming in the building. He brought up an old one. Silver Surfer for NES was hard. That was one of the hardest games I ever played.
Yeah.
Facts.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like the generation we grew up with. Like if you put,
oh gosh, here he goes.
if you put like my son, right? I put him in front of a 16-bit game. He doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance.
Facts.
They're not that bad. All right, we can move on. I could keep going on. We'll move on. Let me hit these super chats because they've been sitting here for a while. Carl in the house, writer for Season Game, and one of our tech experts for E3. Give me Halo, or I club this baby seal. Oh, we getting Halo. Don't worry. And we're getting to it, by the way, too. So, and then there was another one. I think Bomber in the house. What's up, Bomber? Avatar and Riders Republic. That's how long the super chat been sitting out there. Sorry about that. Avatar and Riders Republic best of show, no doubt. We covered it. Thanks, Bomber. Appreciate it.
Death's Door was just announced at the Devolver Digital to be coming out July 20th.
Yes, that game looks really good.
Yeah, so that's what Xbox will have Death's Door on the 20th, and then the Ascent on the 27th of July, both hitting Game Pass on day one. It's gonna. So how many times do you think Game Pass is mentioned during the Xbox showcase tomorrow? And if you were doing a drinking game, would you die from it?
You would die first 10 minutes. I think.
I can drink a lot.
I think you'd be dead. And dead 5 times over at least.
So why don't we move over to it? Let's get to it because that's the core of the show, right? That's why we're here. So let's get into it.
An hour in.
Yeah, no, an hour in is the core of the show. So we knew this was going to be a little longer. Hey, Cog over here running 5-hour shows.
Oh my gosh, Cog!
I mean, he comes to Xbox 2, and I get an ILP length episode of 4 hours. It's what happens.
You see what happened? You got to
know how it is in the realm, man. You know how it is.
People were calling for Miles down PA to join too, but we had a packed panel. Maybe some other time, Miles. Maybe sooner.
Well, I'll see if I can make time, Rand. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Thanks for everything, man. Hit that like button. Definitely let people know about getting this Xbox and Bethesda comment. So, Luke, getting back to what you were talking about. So before Summer Game Fest even kicked off, we got Phil Spencer, who obviously, vast majority of people in the Xbox community really look up to, on a pre-recorded message with Satya, right? CEO of Microsoft. And I know I tweeted out about this and it blew up, that for someone like, I was about to say me, but really all of us, right? Because we've all been gaming a long time. And we know what gaming was. And Cog, you and I have had this conversation a million times over. When we were growing up, all of us, right? Gaming was this niche thing, much smaller, much less attention on it, much fewer people, smaller market. Now we're coming into E3 week where the head of gaming at Microsoft and the CEO of Microsoft, literally the richest company in the history of humanity, is wearing a Halo hoodie, the game that I used to sit in basements setting up LAN parties for. A Halo hoodie talking about how they are all in gaming and gaming is fundamental to their future. This, it was a small thing, but I took that, I walked away from that with such the biggest smile. This is just amazing to me that we have the CEO of Microsoft talking like this. And I just think, I don't know, that hit me really, really crazy, guys. It's just perspective, right? Makes you take a step back and think, Jesus, man, this has come a long way. And it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah. Archimedes, you talk, man.
Yeah, get up.
No, I agree 100%. I think this is what really changed for the entire Xbox division, how seriously Microsoft is taking gaming now. This is probably the biggest accomplishment from Phil Spencer. If people always talk about, he acquired studios and so on, that wasn't his part alone. But for him to convince, like you said, one of the richest companies in the world to make a board of management position available for gaming, to make an entire division out of that for such a huge company, that is just awesome. And I mean, for us as gamers, it is great to see how they really try to leverage all what Microsoft has to offer with the Azure cloud servers, with, of course, the financial backing, but also with a lot of the tools that are now available to developers, not just the Xbox game studios, but developers in general. That's just great to see. And like you said, to see Satya Nadella in front of the big E3 showcase coming out, making that a clear statement, we are committed to gaming. It's awesome. And by the way, I'm glad they had or used that opportunity to take the xCloud stuff out of the show. Yeah, because I don't want to have that in the show. I want the show to be about games, and more games. Yeah. So it was really a good move.
Yeah, big time. What's your thoughts on it, Miles? Where were you at?
Anyone can feel free to chat.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've been talking about this a lot this past year, is that, obviously I have my bias for Xbox. Obviously I prefer Xbox, but I'm not someone who tries to downplay what PlayStation is doing well. I don't try to downplay what Nintendo's doing well. They all have their flaws. You can complain about whatever, but fundamentally, all of these companies are doing something really impressive. And we are in a time, in a period where, as an Xbox fan, I can objectively look at what Xbox is doing and say that I've never been more excited about the future of Xbox.
No doubt.
And that feels so good. It's so exciting to be able to say that without any hyperbole, without any fanboy nonsense. I can look at the formula and the strategy that Xbox has, and I can say, yes, I buy into this. I see what you're doing. I want to see how this plays out, and I want to support you. And that just feels really good. So having them come out, having the head of Microsoft come out and say, yeah, we're all in. I mean, that's what we want to believe. That's what the fans really want to believe, is that Microsoft is all in. But here's the statement. Here's the mission statement from them. We are all in, and we're going to give you one banger per quarter. They're just to throw that old phrase around. They want one big AAA first-party exclusive launching into Xbox Game Pass per quarter. And that is, imagine getting four Halo Infinites in a year. Imagine that cadence. I don't think that's going to come next year, but potentially 2023, we get to a point where there is that cadence, and they are really hitting it, and it's going to be exciting. Like, obviously, we all have our preferences. You can prefer PlayStation, and that's fine. I don't mind. I don't think you're a dumb person. I don't think you're a worse person. But if you love gaming as a whole, and you're just trying to write off what Xbox is doing and what their future looks like, I think that's unfortunate.
I will echo that 1,000 times over, because my beat is Xbox. That's where that's my preferred ecosystem. But like you and like many, I have no disenfranchisement with any of the other console makers, game makers, or anything like that. But it was really cool, I think, to kind of have that moment this year. And like, I've been listening to Rand for a long time, and he was making content in the dark ages, right? When it was
7 years ago.
I realize how that sounded. But what I mean is, what I meant was,
you see, Rand, this is the shit I get from these young kids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
Like, you're 2 years older than me. All right. So
it did sound funny. I know what your intent was.
I'm sorry.
It did sound funny.
And by the way, you insulted Dan just automatically by that statement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel it anymore.
Mostly
due to the diabetes.
No, you good.
Oh man. Okay, I collect myself. What I meant was, Xbox had a rough go in Xbox One, right?
Oh yeah, they
that
did.
First half was rough, and there were like 6 people talking about it. It was just not a place that many people wanted to be. So to go from that space to where we are now, where we've got a panel of creators who are all in this ecosystem, where we're seeing the big time people getting to talk about the CEO of Microsoft, not Xbox, not Don Matrix Xbox, but Microsoft in the zone. And it makes sense. It's not forced. It doesn't feel unnatural. It makes sense. And not only, it's not like not just a publicity stunt. We're seeing xCloud. We're seeing game acquisition, or studio acquisitions. We're seeing IP being created. And Miles is right. 2023 and beyond looks pure fire. And I cannot wait for it. And you won't even need the box to play with your buddies. That's awesome. They're pioneering xCloud. They're pioneering cross-play, cross-progression. There's so much to look forward to. And when you have a CEO up there backing, there's confidence in what the future is. It just speaks to a different era of gaming. I thought that was cool.
Let's get the OG, Lord Rand.
Oh, hey, did you just see Godfall was announced for the PS4? Oh man,
really?
Yeah, Gearbox just announced it on stream.
Oh,
so
they're trying to fix those sales problems.
Gearbox doesn't believe in generations, apparently.
Really?
Interesting.
Oh, the shrimp are starting to show up, huh?
Oh yeah.
Shut it down, please.
The shrimp. Like I really I didn't get to watch the full video because I'm not that special. But the takeaways are important. Like, I think what they did was basically tell analysts and tell the press and give an overview of like, hey, this is what Xbox is doing. It was almost like a welcome to Xbox refresher course for anybody who doesn't know what Xbox has been doing. And yeah, it's awesome to see Satya, him coming out there being Microsoft is all in on gaming. Because like Luke said, man, like last gen, there were some low points.
Yeah,
there was points there where I honestly thought Xbox would go the way of the dodo bird. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think there was going to be a future. And with Phil kind of getting the promotion, and then seeing all the studios being bought and all the Game Pass take off and the Bethesda purchase, it's like, okay, something's different. And to see Satya out there talking about this, you even have like CNBC and all these Market Watch things talking about Microsoft and Xbox in a positive way now, being like, there's something here because their goal is to put Xbox everywhere, right? They're still making consoles. So I love it that they basically came out here and just stomped their foot over the nonsense that I have to hear every single time. Oh, Xbox is just going to be an app in the future. Yes, it's going to be an app, but there's going to be hardware. Yes. So if you want to play in the consoles there, but if you don't want to, grab your controller and play in the Xbox app on your smart TV or play it on your PC. Doesn't matter. Play it on your mobile phone. Like where you want to play is where you want to play, right? But they said the console is going to be their flagship experience. It's going to be for people like us on this panel, the ones who spend the most money, but they want to. And even you look at like Jim Ryan's quotes yesterday in that interview with Axis, he's looking beyond the console too. We already know PlayStation's doing stuff on PC. They're doing stuff on mobile. Yeah. It's just the way the future is going. So it's nice to see them come out and talk about that. It's great to see them come out and talk about Game Pass and how it doesn't hurt the sales of games because they really touted Outriders and how it was still the number one selling digital game for the week it launched in the Game Pass because as Cognito says, the internet tells us Xbox, nobody buys games on the system and nobody buys games because it's in Game Pass. And then they bragged that MLB The Show, even though it was day one in Game Pass, was the best-selling game of April and like the second biggest like launch sports game or whatever in its launch week, right? So
and added millions of players to the show's audience, which we all knew it would, right?
So they're dispelling these myths that exist around the service, right? That they know of and they're sharing with their partners, but all the people on Twitter who don't understand being like, oh, it's bad. We want to buy the games to support the developers and all that stuff, even though like Game Pass is supporting the developers because they're getting some mad money. Like I love to see Microsoft come out and just curb stomp these people, right? Xbox is in it for the long run. Satya is basically signaling to investors that they're going to even invest even more. You got Matt Booty talking about one game per quarter, right? Which I actually think is lowballing it because four games a year, that's conservative. That's conservative. That's at least. Right. And he's talking about and how they're going to do this, investing in internal studios, which is what we've wanted them to do forever. And they're finally got their act together. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The games are going to take a little bit of time, but it is what it is. The past is the past. This is, the present and the future. And then they're going to acquire more studios. Right. So it's like everything I wanted out of Xbox. And the only thing left is for these games to come out and be good. That's it. Like they have the hardware. Right, the Series X, Series S, they have the most powerful according to them. You have the cheapest, right? And then you're on PC. You're on PC on Windows 10 in your own store with Game Pass. You're on Steam, right? Day one. You're going to be on mobile, iOS and Android. You're going to be on smart. Like their plan is basically just if you got a screen, all you need is a controller and you can play it. You can. The best part about it is like a lot of this stuff just works. You're like trying to get your save from the PS4 version of Final Fantasy Remake to the PS5 version. I've seen people struggle with that. Yeah. But on Xbox, it's just easy. Like you play a game on your Series X, you log into your PC, you can just continue playing where it was. You log into mobile, continue. Like it's an amazing vision that I think will play out for Microsoft 5 to 10 years from now because nobody else can do what they're doing, right? Nobody else has the resources. But for me, it's all about the games, right? They have the studios now. We know they're making tons of games. They're going to be getting more. We're going to see the show tomorrow. I honestly haven't been more excited for Xbox than I ever have. Like I think this generation and beyond is just going to be special for Xbox fans. And that's not to say if you're a PlayStation fans, you should feel a certain way because I also feel PlayStation's going to kill it. This isn't like one's good and one's bad. This is gaming is going to be the best it's been in some time. You have all three console manufacturers like firing on all cylinders because normally one of them always screws up. One of them always screws up in each gen. And now we're finally different approaches, right? Yeah, they're all different. Nintendo does what they're doing. Sony is doing kind of the traditional stuff, but kind of expanding, and Microsoft has their own with the subscription serving of Game Pass and being everywhere. It's really cool to see. Yep. So sorry I went a little rant there, but I feel very passionate about this stuff.
Look what Luke started.
Oh, the Dark Ages.
Listen, but we been there. We know what it is, man. We know what it is. The past generation.
100% agree with you guys.
I mean,
everything you just said is facts. I mean,
Brand said it best. I'll be very quick. for me, and Ains, I think you appreciate it. I think if you're a fan of a brand or a platform or an ecosystem, right? I think I think back to the Sega days and how much I love Sega.
Let's
right?
go.
We know where we go with it, right? As a Sega kid. And one of the most painful things is to see mistakes made up top and not seeing sustainability on something that you love, right? So for me, obviously I prefer the Xbox ecosystem. I still love Sony. I still love Nintendo, but as far as ecosystem, I really enjoy, the Xbox. So I think what it is for me is when you see these kind of statements, these forward-facing statements by Satya and Phil, the optics of it gives you confidence. And I think Jess said it on your podcast yesterday, Brandon, the Xbox 2, that it was more of that meeting really wasn't for gamers. You know what I'm saying? That's more for like investors and the other broader audience to show Microsoft's commitment to gaming, because I think like the dirty secret before was like, oh, they have all this money to blow, but how really are they committed, to gaming? And to see them put their flag down to show you what the mission statement is, to show you the ways they're going to try to achieve this goal, whether it be through Game Pass and xCloud and all these great things. I love it from a future building standpoint, from a sustainability standpoint. You walk away with confidence, like, okay, they're going to be here in the long haul. They are showing the commitment. And to Ian's credit, it's not easy, if you're the head of Xbox to get at the big boy table, so to speak, to convince the higher ups to really dig deep. And I think it is the greatness of Phil Spencer, you know what I'm saying? And as much as I'm a Peter Moore guy, like I have to admit, in this shorter span, and King Min can go at this all the time back in the day. Like, I'm a Peter Moore guy. I think he's the greatest at one point because of the 360 era and the golden era. But what Phil was dealt with, considering, as we call the dark ages, right? The Xbox One, right? Let's keep it real. It was looking spooky out here. We were questioning, are they committed? Are they truly committed? We see what Sony's doing, these amazing first-party exclusives. We would see these second-party deals, and we're like, why doesn't Microsoft own their own studios? What's going on? And just to see the whole culture change and to see where they are now. And to Miles' point, you kind of see the vision and you're like, you know what? I buy into that. I think I see where they're going with this. And it's exciting to see. That's all you want if you're a fan of a team, right? To basically say, hey, they're committed. They got the free agent dollars. They're drafting correctly.
They've been building, right?
They're building, right?
Rocks have been building for years now. And now the foundation is there, and you're starting to see the whole house come together.
And they had a long way back. They had a long
yeah. No, they
had to
started
fix hardware, services, IP. Then they had content delivery, presentation.
They were walking individual bricks hand by hand.
Hand by hand.
To build that house.
Yeah, shout out to Now. He said, I got to call it right. Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius. Yes, correct. Yeah. He said I had to say it. He said I had to put respect on his name and say his full title that King has given him.
It's funny you brought that up with Peter Moore, though, because Peter Moore he's a legend, right? He's
the legend
of all time. But if you look at the last 6 years now, going on 7, right, since Phil took over, I think it was 2014, if I remember correctly. If you start to look at what he's accomplished with what he had to do and what it's going to result in the long term, I don't think anyone's ever. You can't touch it.
Yeah, you can't touch it. You can't touch it.
I said something just the other day on a different podcast when we talked about a similar topic. I think the biggest accomplishment and achievement from Phil and probably the biggest task he had to do is when he took over that team to bring the moral of the team in order.
Remember that? Yes.
When you're in a leadership position for hundreds, if not thousands, of people that work in Redmond that are really down, that they worked hard, and from some stupid management decisions from 3 or 4 people, all that work went down the grabber, then the moral is really down. And to build that up, because Phil alone couldn't have done what Xbox has done. It's the team behind him. And to motivate that team again after what happened in 2013, that is really the biggest challenge I think he had to do.
No doubt, because he had his internal, all the teams you're talking about, right? He had this low morale and basically people doing exactly what we're doing as fans, saying, where's my career in this division? You're part of this enterprise, this massive company, and you're in a division that no one seems to care about, right?
Exactly. Do I have a future in that company? Can I make my career out of that?
Exactly right. And then Phil had to convince the big Microsoft, right? That gaming was valuable enough for them to invest in at the time,
so important,
$1.5 trillion company.
And now you can really see it with a lot of executives being also public on social media and out there. We have that Sarah Bond, we have Matt Booty, we have Jason Ronald, all these executives now in that Phil put in these positions.
All good people too.
All good people that really speak to the community. And this is a incredible achievement, besides having, of course, a vision. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? That vision is what sold it to Microsoft. But to really build it up and get the team motivated again to deliver what they are delivering now, that is such a huge achievement. And people rarely talk about it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's especially like where I know you're coming from, Arch, because we've talked about this offline from a corporate perspective. Some of these conversations, they're not easy. You know how some of these things go down, and seeing what this looks like from a corporate perspective at the highest levels. Again, we're talking about the biggest company in the world. Is just astronomical. I don't think people give him enough credit. He gets a ton of credit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you think about the task at hand, he deserves all of it. He really does.
There's a reason they call him Papa Phil,
And he has the love of his team too. He's not just a corporate leader that's done well, but isn't beloved, right? He's managed to do both, which is very rare. It's very rare.
It's a stark contrast to Jim Ryan. I don't like competitively putting them together, but it's a stark contrast to the two. Is there a relationship with your gamers, with your customers, with your producers, with your developers? And Phil genuinely seems to capture that, and that's why he's evangelized so much in the ways that he is. And it feels like a stark difference between the direction that Jim Ryan's taking Sony, who is very financially successful, and they put out incredible games. I'm not taking that away. I just feel as far as a figurehead, gone is Sean Layden, gone is Reggie, Phil remains.
Phil remains.
Okay,
I'll pose a question to you guys about Jim Ryan, because one reason Phil is so popular and beloved, he's got that Reggie appeal. He's got the genuinely nice, kind of relatable vibe. Whereas Jim Ryan, he is a businessman. He's coming in, he's taking care of business, he's making money. That's his job. So to you in the panel, to you watching, when you listen to Jim Ryan speak, do you buy it? Does it feel authentic? Does it feel relatable?
Not at all. But that's the thing. Speaking to a customer base is not his main job. It's also not Phil's main job. His main job is to have a business, a multi-billion-dollar business in order. That's kind of different. What Phil can do, Phil can speak like Jim. And I place a bet he does all the time, because if you run a multi-billion division, you have to be an aggressive businessman, but he can switch. He can distinguish in between. Am I talking to an investor, to a developer, to a partner, a business partner, or do I talk to my potential customer? This is what Jim really is not capable of doing. But as long as the numbers are good, it doesn't matter.
It's a good point. Miles asked a good question, because I think for me it always comes down to transparency, and I just look at what both have done in this short period of time, and not to make this like the rag on Jim Ryan fest, but we have to be honest about the whole transparency as far as generations, right? And I look back at that, and I look back at how let's be honest, Microsoft did get in front of that before everyone. Hey, Halo Infinite's going to be cross-gen. Hey, we're going to do this for about a year or so. And they took the flames for the community from it. And people were like, hey, next-gen experience. I want a next-gen only experience kind of thing. And then Sony kind of rode that. So now that the layers are being revealed, and obviously Rand talked about Godfall, and we know about so many more cross-generational titles, which again, I'm with Luke, like I'm not like, oh my God, end of the world because it's happening. You know what I'm saying? We have to eliminate this base completely. I do understand the perspective of someone who wants to see the power push, though. So I get both sides. But at the end of the day, when you look at things like that, and now when we get these reveals that these games are not going to be next gen only on another platform after they initially promised that, then it goes back to transparency. And the last point I'll say to Miles' point is that, it is something to be said about a gamer himself in a position of leadership, to be able to understand and move between the different groups of business professionally, and also still be able to speak to the core gamer and understand their wants. That's good. He's got a good team around him, and like Archimedes said, it's about the team, but credit to him as well. It's really good to see.
So we talk in SG chat about this a lot because I won't name names, but we talk about a couple things like, they always want to remind that Phil is the head of this division, a very expensive division. And at the end of the day, he's got a bottom line like every other head of division, right? And I don't think that's lost. People should realize at the end of the day, Phil's a businessman. He just happens to be better, in my opinion, at selling his vision and selling what he is in terms of the gaming environment or gaming community than Jim is. It's just a matter of fact. And when you work for a bunch of different leadership styles vary greatly, personalities vary greatly. And when it comes to what this is for, right, where you're leading a gigantic global gaming division, whether or not he's better at the bottom line is to be seen. Jim's obviously newer. He takes over a bigger back-end company with PlayStation, a bigger global brand. But I think Phil's earned the right for that respect for a number of reasons.
Think about how the Elden Ring crew is feeling after their Summer Game Fest reveal. Probably pretty good. It went off for them very, very well. We will.
You want to talk about it, Miles?
Yeah, let's circle back. Let's go.
I'm connecting it.
Moving on.
Oh my God! Did you just Lord Attic me just now?
Yeah. I do with the Lord Attic. Time.
But we have. We'll know that business approach has truly landed for Phil Spencer when Elden Ring wants to be at Xbox, as opposed to that console agnostic space or pleasing another publisher or whatnot. That's when we'll truly see the vision continue to connect on the third party side, we should say, because we're seeing it connect on hardware. We're seeing it happen with services. We're seeing it connect in so many other spaces. Now it's a matter of third party relationships.
That's fair. And as that ecosystem grows, that's what you've got to look towards, right? So yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Let me get the Super Fork in the house from Game and Beyond the Box, our good friends, of course. Thank you, Fork. 1999 Super Chat. Hey, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Wish we could get Godfall on Xbox. No, you don't. Stop it. Game on. Great show. Great panel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Yeah, I got the winner for the first $20
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah, it's AKW.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. I'm laughing because, no joke, AKW just sent me a DM with a code for an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
That's what's up. Good dude. Yeah.
Well, I can pick somebody else if he doesn't want it.
Well, no, we might have just half reimbursed him for what he just said.
That's what we did.
So,
fantastic.
AKW, if you're in the chat, man, first of all, congrats. You can definitely take the $20 code. And then let me know, by the way, about this Game Pass code you want me to give away, because it doesn't say how long it is. I don't know if it's a month or 3 or 6 or what. So let me know. But guys, everyone in chat, so just hit Xbox in the chat, hashtag Xbox. We've got another $20 code to give away. And we now, thank you to AKW in the chat, have a Game Pass Ultimate code to give away as well. So,
I'll just keep everybody's name so far. He said he wants
to dance, so I'll hit you up.
That's
AKW, I'll hit you up with the $20 in DM. Perfect. But he's also donated a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code. So
fantastic.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Now that we got that sorted out. All right, guys. So let's talk about the show itself tomorrow. All right. And I know everyone here is being involved in some way. There's a ton of live reactions. There's a ton of post shows. And I also know between Rand and Cog and everyone basically has already talked about the show a bunch of times, as have we. But I feel like we're the night before. We're all huge Halo fans. I said Halo. Look, it's subconscious, man. I meant to say Xbox fans, but we should all be Halo fans.
Better all be.
Yeah, that's better way, Miles. Thank you. See, Miles and I, we're like this, man. We got this. All right. So this is a huge show for Xbox. It's the first show, obviously, Xbox Bethesda coming out. There are rumors swirling all over the place, top to bottom, of what we're going to see tomorrow. And I know half these guys have already discussed it. There's shrimp in our damn chat already. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But let's break down some of these things. And guys, really your choice. I know there's leaks out there. Some people feel some have more validity than others. I don't, it's up to you what you want to mention. So anyone listening, if you want to go in completely blind and you've blanked everything out, you may want to turn off, but I don't think we're going to spoil anything per se for you. So
Archimedes has a heart out. Let's let him go.
Yeah, Ark, how much time you got left?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
How much time do you have left before you got to run?
I should go now.
Now? Well, I'm sorry.
Or soonish. I have like
Let
2-3 minutes. But
okay. Okay. So I'm sorry it took us this long to get to the actual
problem.
Xbox show. But let's hear from you. Expectations or what you'd like to see, and then I also would like to know your guess on what you think is going to open it and what you think is going to close it.
Okay. My expectations. I have actually two major things I'd like to see. The first is what most people want to see, and that is gameplay for some of these already announced games. I did a video about a week ago, and I tried to count how many games has Xbox announced, and I came up with 13 major announcements from the first-party studios, and we know about 4 others that are not announced yet, but we are sure they are in the making, like Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, that doesn't need an announcement so that we know that it's in the making. And then we have around about 15 to 20 other games that are in development that we don't know of yet. So I would be surprised if out of all these announced and unannounced games, we cannot see gameplay for like 3 to 5 games outside of Halo, to be honest. That is what I want to see. I want to see like 3 to 5 other games than Halo with gameplay. Maybe a Hellblade, maybe a Fable, maybe a Avowed. I don't know. But 3 of them. And I think it should be doable, because if we consider how long some of these games are actually in development, I would be surprised if there wasn't something to show. Like a Fable, 4.5 years already in the making. Yeah. Even if you take the pandemic into account and remove that year, that's still a long time, and I find it hard to believe that there's nothing you can show after all that time. And that goes for a lot of these games. So again, gameplay for 3 to 5 games outside of Halo. That is what I would expect. And the other thing I want them to see is, what my expectation is, to really show people that Bethesda is Xbox now, because I don't want that discussion with every Bethesda game we get. Is it going to be exclusive? Is it not going to be exclusive? Is Bethesda their own entity or not?
They need to end that discussion, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to end that discussion. I want them to really convince people we are one unit now. We are one company. And Miles, I've seen your tweet. And the funny thing is, I've had a discussion on Twitter just 2 or 3 days ago, because I said something similar. That's why I really don't care if they announce a studio or not tomorrow, because the message should be not, we are buying like 3 or 5 or whatever amount of studios. We are Xbox and Bethesda now. They can announce studio acquisitions someone else this year. I don't care. This should be one of the core messages during that game show. And what do I think they will open up the show with?
Let's hear it.
I hope it's Halo. Okay. To be honest, we've seen it. We are seeing it now for the 4th time at E3.
Craig says hi.
Yeah. I've heard Chess saying something during the Iron Lords podcast that makes total sense. Halo does not need an explanation. If you, for instance, open up with Starfield, I think that would be a mistake, because you need to explain Starfield. Starfield has to be somewhere in the middle of the show, because Todd Howard has to come out and explain to the world what the game is, what the vision for it is, what are the gameplay mechanics. You have to explain it. You don't have to do that for a Halo. Yeah, so you can easily open up with Halo. And the second reason why they should do that is because no matter how Halo looks now, it will be controversial. Yeah, so get it out of the way.
Get it out.
Get it out, and then have a couple of other things. And then, end the show with a big surprise that nobody is expecting. Like,
let's go. Yeah, let's go. You gotta be hype. Let's go.
Yeah, we have a couple of bigger games that are not announced yet. Yeah, show some real showcase that also doesn't need an explanation. If you for instance show 1 minute of gameplay for Fable, something that makes your jaw drop to the floor, where you really leave the room, or Hellblade would be probably such a showcase where you don't need an explanation to understand what is going on, just graphics that blow your mind,
My man.
leave the show.
With you.
It's because that will stick in your memory for a long time.
Facts. I'm with you, brother. So with you.
So, and if they can deliver that, and I think it's all not unrealistic, like I said, they have so many games in the making. Even with the pandemic, come on, there's got to be 3 games outside of Halo that have to be in a state to be shown with gameplay. It should be doable. If you do that, plus good showing at the beginning with Halo and something mind-blowing at the end, you're good.
All right, brother. Well, man, it's been nice having you on as always, Arch, and obviously we'll be in touch, and you're always going to be back in the future. But I know you got to get out of here. Why don't you go ahead and shout out your channel before you head out, and then obviously we'll be in touch.
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. I'm always having a blast here in the show. I'm always glad to be invited. It's just getting really late here in Germany. Yeah, we are closing in on midnight, and I know my kids, they wake me at 5, so I want to get a little bit of sleep before the big day tomorrow. So, but it's been a pleasure here on the show. A fantastic panel. The chat is always awesome here on the show. So yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, people can find me basically everywhere under Boxenberger, on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, and of course here on YouTube. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun show tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it, and the rest of the week will also be filled with announcements. So I can't wait. It's Gamers Christmas. Come on, how can you not be excited?
No doubt,
man.
All right, guys.
Well, have a good night, and we will talk
tomorrow. Yeah, and you have a great show.
Pleasure, brother.
Okay, see you guys
later, bro.
All right, let me get the super chat real quick from Mr. Pompa himself, the Periono Mampa, as we call him. Great panel, great people. This is just a good time. Hope you all have a great Saturday. Hope we get what we want tomorrow. We're getting Halo, man. I'm good.
Woo.
I'm good to go.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Rand, I know you had a hell of a show yesterday. Like I said, I tuned in, kind of caught off on everything you guys talked about. By the way, Colt is wrong. We need Banjo. I think Jez is right. You can tell him I said that. Jez and Nick were 100% spot on. We need Banjo. But I know you've talked about this a lot, Rand, but why don't you give us kind of your thoughts on expectations? Not a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, like we said. There's probably a lot of things you could say or choose to say. Completely up to you, man. Let's just hear your thoughts on what we are going to see and what you want to see.
All right. Well, I'll try to get through this as quick as I can because something came up and I gotta, unfortunately, leave real soon. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting, obviously, look at Halo multiplayer. I think they're going to deep dive that with maybe some cutscenes from the campaign. And I expect there to be a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Upset people who want to see the campaign again. And I think we're just going to get a brief look at it, but it's mostly going to be focused on the campaign. I don't think they give a release date. I think they just say holiday 2021. I do think that I made my prediction video, so I'm going to stick with it, even if I I think change. I think Halo ends the show, even though I don't want it to, because I would much rather it end with like a JPEG of Rise 2 or something like that. But I do feel Starfield opens the show because this is about Xbox and Bethesda, and I feel like opening up the show with a game that's really anticipated that nobody knows anything about, and then hitting people over the head with the message that Xbox is Bethesda and Bethesda is Xbox and this game is exclusive. I think you want to do that immediately from the get-go. Like, boom, here's Starfield, and you can only play it on Xbox and PC. And you just, right from the get-go, you do that. Unfortunately, with the way work from home is, and some of the games that Xbox have are farther out, I don't expect us to see games like Fable or Avowed or State of Decay 3. I think there might be something there from Hellblade 2, like a making of video, which I think people will probably be upset about because they want to see gameplay because the game was revealed in 2019. So a lot of the titles we saw last year we won't see again, unfortunately. we'll definitely, I think, see Forza Horizon 5 with the release date sometime in October. Project Typhoon's going to be there, and everybody's going to be like, finally, what is this game, and who's the developer, and all that stuff, which all your questions will be answered. They're going to have a bunch of Game Pass announcements. We've already seen some of them kind of come out with Back 4 Blood, supposedly, Yakuza Like a Dragon. We've seen some of the ones from Bethesda, like Doom and Fallout 3 and Evil Within 2 that had contracts with PlayStation Now that are up. So I would imagine there's going to be a ton of Game Pass stuff. I said in my prediction video, I expect Microsoft to announce a Xbox Game Pass family plan as well, because they've kind of talked about that in that 1 hour press thing recently, where they talked about new kind of subscription services, or at least new pricing models. Yeah. So I think family plan is one of those. We're going to see third party. We're going to see Battlefield 6 gameplay. Who knows what other third parties are going to be there. There's talks about like Plague's Tale 2 and stuff like that. And as for his acquisitions, look, I pointed it out when they originally announced the show and gave the date and everything, that they didn't say there would be no business related stuff, right? Last year they were quick to point out that the show would be games only, and there would be no business related dealings, no acquisitions, no Series X price, no Series S announcement. And they know all the rumors that are going on right now, because they're very strong for the past week or so, and they have not come out and said don't expect this.
No greedy statement to shut us down yet.
And I said 2 weeks ago on Xbox 2, I believe it was, or was it maybe earlier this week, I was 90-10 on an acquisition happening. I'm like, I'm never going to say 100% because I just don't. I'm 99.1 that an acquisition is happening on Sunday.
It sounded like Nick was saying yesterday that they may open with kind of a project.
Yeah, that's an interesting prediction.
It's very interesting prediction.
I do think when you look at the rumors, I do think they'll acquire Avalanche. I don't know if it's going to be just the one Avalanche studio that does the Mad Max Rage 2 type thing, or if the whole studio's group. I think that is the one that's going to be acquired. But there are rumors out there about IO Interactive, who, as we know from Jez, is working on an Xbox game with Project Dragon.
They're working on Bond too, which
they're working on Bond, which if Microsoft does, on IO, I want them to buy IO because I love IO, and I'm 50-50 on that one right now. Crytek, I've heard rumors. Maybe Microsoft wants to get them, and they're interested in doing like Rise again and stuff, which would be interesting. And then we saw what Jeff Grubb said about NetherRealm and Rocksteady and stuff like that. Look, I know for a fact Xbox is talking to Warner Brothers. They're talking to the individual studios. Everybody is. Sure. Those are all in play. So I definitely expect at least one acquisition. Who knows if it'll be two? But I know a lot of people want to see the gameplay, and certainly I do as well, and I hope we see a lot of it. Hopefully Microsoft has a lot more up their sleeves for 2022 than what I think is currently going to be there, because I kind of project out, and I'm like, there's not going to be that much. Project Omen, I think, will be announced as well, and I know a lot of people are like, Legacy of Kain, and it's like, no. Do you see the stuff, Miles, with people being like, well, why would they call it Omen if it's not Legacy of Kain? When it's like, it's just a project
like that.
It's just a project name. It doesn't mean anything
like that. Don't do it.
I'm just saying.
It's just a code name, man.
It's just a code name. It has nothing to do with what it is.
And it also happens to be related to vampires.
Yeah.
But hopefully we get some idea of what that, because the speculation for Project Omen right now is intense. It's all over the place.
Arcane is awesome. They're one of my favorite devs.
So I mean, I think it's going to be a very solid show. I thought last year's show was going to be amazing, and then because of how it was presented with a bunch of 1 minute CGI trailers with no dates and Halo looking like it looked, I think it came in underneath my expectations. So this year I'm more like, I think this is going to be a very solid show. I think there's a chance it could be really, really good, depending on how much gameplay we get and if there's any secret hype announcements that we don't know about. If there's acquisitions, like Avalanche, to me is a nice pickup, right? But if you can pair Avalanche with IO, well, then that becomes amazing.
That's sexy.
Then if you get Crytek, then it becomes extraordinary, right? So like I think the thing is like Xbox is they got a lot cooking, and unfortunately, I think we're come to the realization, at least I have, and I know a lot of people still holding out hope that most of these games they're making are a little bit further along, and I think people will start to realize that. But it's really all going to be about Game Pass. They're going to talk about it a lot. They're going to have a lot of big titles hitting the service, and then it's just going to be, hey, we got Bethesda. They're here. They're making games exclusively. We're, picked up a couple new studios. We're making exclusive games. We got all these studios coming. Don't worry, right? That's what I think the message is going to be. And so I'm kind of at like an 8 right now. I think the show is going to be like an 8. I think it'll be better than Summer Games Fest and the Ubisoft show, and pretty much better than all the other shows, simply because there's going to be a lot there. It could, and depending on, like I said, how things show up, it could raise it to a 9. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. And with that, I want to thank you, Ains, for having me on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. It was nice, talking to you again. Exposing to the world that you like Mass Effect 2 better than 1. It was great.
Finally getting that out in the open. That was good.
Always good talking to Cognito and Miles Dampier and Dan. And it was a pleasure to meet you for the first time, Luke.
Oh,
you don't have to.
With the ghost.
Yeah, haven't talked to him before, so this was good for me.
It's my young gunner. That's
likewise, my friend. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Ains. That's what I got.
That's great, man. No, thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it, brother. It's good to finally have you on a show. Hope we stay in touch, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow, no doubt. No doubt. So if you got to run, no worries at all, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta get out of here, and have a good rest of the show. Later.
Bye, man. Peace. Yeah.
All right. So he ran through a lot real fast right there. So
throwing out the gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to cover right there. So let me ask this. It sounds like, and I know, like I said, a bunch of us are kind of in the middle of these rumblings, right? It sounds like more than ever, we may get an acquisition tomorrow that's kind of tied to a project. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just going to be, hey, we bought the studio. Okay, moving on. It's going to be more of, we're working with the studio on X. And by the way, they're part of Xbox Game Studios. Very similar to what PlayStation did at Summer Game Fest with the
was it Deviation?
Deviation.
I was about to say Deviant. I was like, it can't be Deviant.
That's really what needs to happen, in my opinion, because the rumor conversations are hot. They're hot right now. People want Xbox to come out and just slam dunk, just pull in. We got these 5 massive studios, Xbox Game Studios, going hard, all in on gaming. Here's why. That's cool. That is cool for hardcore Xbox fans. For the average person who's maybe not that invested into Xbox right now, if you just show the name of a studio, the average person goes, okay, cool.
Good point. Yep.
But if you can show, here's what they need to do. PlayStation does this incredibly. They need to show a trailer that sells you. They need to show off Project Typhoon. You look at this game, you're like, oh my God, this looks insane. I need to play this. This looks incredible. Splash screen, Avalanche Studios. And then they say, oh, by the way, Avalanche is joining Xbox Game Studios.
Beautiful.
Here is why you should be excited.
And then your Game Pass launch, right? Because as soon as you're in Xbox Game Studios, your Game Pass launch. Exactly.
Don't give me a splash screen with 5 logos, please. Yeah. I get it. I'm invested in Xbox. I would love that. But the narrative that Xbox has no games is not going to go away if that's how they go about it. Because 100%. Last time we got a bunch of splash screens for logos, that's all we got. We still don't know what they're working on, really. If we're being real, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm being a little harsh on Xbox, but
tough love.
That's the reality. You can't just tell us you bought this company and not tell us what that means. Because we care. The people invest in the Xbox community care. The average person does not. And that's not moving the needle for Xbox Game Pass and the appeal of Xbox, in my opinion.
No. I think you're spot on. I was going to say you nailed it, because 2018 was great for the hardcore fan, right? We're in that crowd, right? And you see them, oh shit, they bought Ninja Theory. Oh shit, they bought Playground Games. We know what that means.
Yeah.
Long term, right? But it doesn't mean it. You're exactly right. It doesn't mean anything to anyone. And now you're 3 years removed from when that happened, and we're still saying, okay, where are the games coming from? These people. Again, we know why that is. We know what development is. We know the pandemic. But at the end of the day, people who are just Xbox casual fans or just gamers in general, and Xbox wanting them to get into the ecosystem we already discussed for 20 minutes, they've got to show the products. It's
Good
the
point.
products that matter.
That's exactly why I want them to end the show a very particular way. Something they've done great the past few years is they've.
What you got?
There's nothing fantastic here. It's just smart marketing.
Oh, I
The
felt that
very
exclusive
end-
coming, baby. Let's
I was
go.
waiting.
The exclusive and the announcements, those need to come throughout the show. But the last thing they need to do is remind people what's on the horizon, short and long term for Xbox. They need to ping up there, and they should make it GIFable, basically. But it needs to be Fable, Avowed, Forza, Elder Scrolls, Starfield. I'm looking at my list. Outer Worlds, Grounded, and they need to ping out everything short term and long term that they've got coming up in the future. The games that are not getting gameplay, we need to be reminded that they're coming, so that at the end, the final thing we see is this list,
a sizzle reel at the very end.
End of just the names or titles showcasing how many games are on the horizon for Xbox gamers.
Yeah.
Because Miles is making a great point. We need to remind people why this narrative of Xbox has no games is an outdated meme. And how do you do that? You show the games that are on the way. And I do not expect to see Avowed in the next year and a half, 2 years. But people need to know that it's on its way, because Sony does an excellent job of selling you on something 3-4 years down the line. Microsoft needs to try their hand at it. They've nailed services, they've nailed acquisitions, they've nailed hardware. They now need to remind people about what games are on the way. So if we are not to see Fable gameplay at this showcase, fine. Remind us that Fable exists in your pantheon of games in this world of one major exclusive per quarter or more. And remind us that it's coming.
I agree with you. And I think that ties back to what we were touching on previously, right? Which is if everything's to be believed and we're going to see an acquisition or new company partnerships, whatever that looks like at the end of the day, show the game with it, show the project with it, show what you're getting out of that. It's what Miles was saying, and I completely agree with it 100%. So let's do this, guys. We kind of touched on it. Each of you, because I'm actually writing this shit down.
Oh shit!
Let's go, boss.
Oh, you see Miles sit up like, all right, good, I'm paying attention now.
Whew.
What are we going to open with, and what are they going to close with? I can go. I've got mine if you want, but I think I just want to hear this because it's always fun, right? It's always fun to see what the show's open with and close with, and people have different ideas of what that's going to look like. For instance, I think was it Rand said they're going to open with Starfield. I think Starfield, because of the reason he said, comes in the middle somewhere, because you do want Todd Howard on stage. You do want Todd Howard representing for Xbox now, and you want him as the man that the Fallout and Elder Scrolls community knows and loves, despite Fallout 76. They love him to death. You want him on stage talking about the new IP, the fact that it's the first new RPG they've made in 25 years, new IP that is, and all these things, right? I don't think you do that to start a show because that's a slower portion of your show.
Okay.
You don't open with someone walking on stage and talking to you for 10 minutes. We saw that at the Ubisoft today, and we already talked about how that went. So what do you guys think? What is going to open this show?
Halo.
You think Halo's going to
set it off right to it?
I think Halo needs to. Well, Halo's in the middle is the right spot for Halo. I feel it's been shown many times.
I think Halo's in the middle personally, but go ahead.
Well, it's been shown many times. It needs a reintroduction, but it need not tread the same territory that it's already been over. And we don't need to spend forever on it. They need to showcase why they delayed it, what's coming for multiplayer, and they need to recognize that things are going to get nitpicked right away. You know, pixel counted and everything else, perhaps even unfairly. We got to get past this. By the way, gaming industry, we got to get past screenshotting and zooming in.
That's happening.
But you know, we always talk about it, right? We always talk about the people on Twitter and on Instagram, wherever you look, right? Social media that are doing that. They are nothing in the grand scheme.
Oh, facts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And imagine complaining about
it. Just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Craig is not going to impact Halo sales this fall. He's just not.
If they're smart, he's in the trailer. If they're smart, he's in the trailer.
He's shirtless, he's oiled up, and he's just front and center.
Ready.
He just comes out flexing. Like,
that's right.
Been working out over the last year.
But yeah, I mean, start with Halo.
Mm.
If Starfield is going to be in there, it needs to be the middle or the end. I don't know what that game is, so I will stop pretending it's God's gift to gaming. I don't even know if Tom Cruise is in the game. I'm looking at our chat, laughing up hysterically. It's awesome. But real talk, start with Halo, get it out of the way, provided that you're able to escalate over the course of the show. I do not want this constant up trajectory. You've got to have some calm in there, because not all games can be for us, right? You need to have some indies or some small titles there. But start with Halo is how I start the show. End with Starfield. And a sizzle of what's to come for the future of Xbox.
Okay. By the way, we literally just this moment hit 100 live people watching.
Oh, that's what's up. Salute.
Which is, we've never hit 100 on Bitcast.
Salute, brother.
We've never hit 100.
Good content, man. Hit the like, y'all. Hit the like button.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone in the chat, man. Really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the show. You know we're still going here, so that's awesome to see.
And to the 100 people
today, so that just makes me happy.
Nice.
To the 100 people here, Ains gave Biomutant a 9.
What are you doing?
For the 100 people watching, it's actually easier. No. It's actually easier as a 4-person panel, so we're gonna take care of this. We're just gonna.
Damn!
We just
got my man out of there.
We don't have to worry about it anymore. We took care of it. Now you can see us better. You don't have to look at him.
The production value went up. Man, he put my man on timeout.
Look, now the account's just gonna go up. So I mean, anyway.
Yo, it went a 101. It did live 101.
Oh, see, someone's like, "Oh wait, Luke's not in there anymore." Okay, now I can watch.
Sign me up. Let's go.
God. That got me real good.
That was good. That was actually really good. He's on fire.
No, thank you guys so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. Seriously. By the way, $20 Xbox gift card. Freaky TJ. Where's Freaky TJ at? Is he still in the chat? Hopefully he's still in the chat. He's got the $20 Xbox gift card. So just reach out to me via DM. I'll get you that. We still have 3 months Xbox Game Pass thanks to AKW to give away. We'll do that here 15 minutes or so. So, all right. So you've got, Luke, remind me, you got Halo opening and Starfield closing. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So
sorry,
you're
sir.
just completely wrong, but that's fine. We'll whatever. All right, Call, give me what you got, man. What do you think they come out? Most important show they've had maybe ever.
Yeah.
What do you think they come out and hit with right out of the gate?
I think the opening is the hardest to predict for me. That is the one. Like, how? That's
why this is fun, right?
Yeah.
Because
how do you
no idea,
set
really.
the tone? Because there's parts of me that definitely feel what Lucas said, just get Halo over with. There's parts of me that I know you may disagree with Ains as far as Starfield and stuff. And then there's another part of me that's like, if the acquisition, quote unquote, studio, rumor studio has gameplay or footage to show that's impressive, right? Then there's that bag you could go into. You know what I mean? So you got all these different bags you could go into. If I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna say in reference.
You're pacing right now. I see
I'm
what
pacing.
you're doing.
I gotta talk it out of my head to see where I land. I think for me, if you want to set the thing off, I think why not just get Starfield out there? You know what I'm saying? Why not? I mean, I know you don't like it, Ains, but I'm really.
Oh, it's not that I don't like it. I just don't know if I envision it the same way they've always done, which is Todd Howard on stage. I don't know how you open with that. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
I think
I'm wrong a lot.
I could be wrong too. We don't know. to me, the biggest wild card is to start. But I think again, if you just show the gameplay first, we don't know what it is, and you just we get right into the show, and then let that rock. If they have even if it's a vertical slice, right? Let that rock for a little bit, and then he comes out afterwards and says what he has to say. I think that still could have some effect, but I'm leaning between that or the studio acquisition. Either one of those, I'm fine. I just want to see something pretty impressive. We're looking at the screen. What is that? What game is that? And then we get that moment. We go, oh, okay. Same kind of thing. I'm with you to cheat right now. We know we're going to do the end stuff later. I'm with you. I don't know if I want to get. I think Halo does deserve to be in the middle. That's the only reason why I'm not saying Halo at first. You know what I'm saying? But it's this is the big mystery. I'm curious to see what Miles has to say as far as where he wants to start. But this is the one I'm most stuck on. How do you set this thing off? It's very intriguing.
You're trying to come out and set a tone, right?
Yeah.
So, Miles, what you got, man? I know you know.
Yeah, I have the master list. I know exactly to the minute when every single game is being shown.
The timestamps.
So let's go.
He's like, you're gonna want to tune in from 1408 to 1534.
Go ahead and skip 1412 to 1415. Nothing there. So I'm really torn. I think Halo would be a great way to kick off the show for two reasons. Halo has the hype. Halo has the fandom. So Halo fans are going to be stoked. The energy of hardcore Xbox fans to start the show would be high. And then the people who don't really care about Halo, that's out of the way for them. And everything else is like new, interesting ideas. So I'm torn. I want to see either Halo start and be like, here's multiplayer. I agree 100% with Rand. We're going to see multiplayer as a focus of it. We're going to see story elements of the game. They're going to focus on that, and they're going to find a way to make Halo Infinite look really, really good. So maybe that's not your full open world Master Chief riding the Warthog. Maybe it's a tighter shot of a story beat, and you're like, damn, Halo Infinite does look good, but it's not maybe necessarily the epic Master Chief running over grunts, throwing stuff like that. Maybe it's going to be smaller. But that's what I'm expecting from Halo when they do show it. Yeah. But I'm also expecting fan service. Blood Gulch, baby. Once Blood Gulch hits, if you're starting the show, you're opening with that. Once people see Blood Gulch, crowd goes wild.
You're lucky this camera's not aimed any lower.
Just cater to the Halo fans if you're going to kick it off that way. And then if you're not, start with a new IP. Start with something fresh, exciting. Like give it the mystery, intrigue. Have the slow fade from black into this mysterious space. And you're like, correct. What is this? Go. Slam. New IP exclusive to Xbox. Let's go. And then to wrap up the show, megaton surprise. You have to. Yes. I want the end of this show to be something nobody's even heard any whisper of at all from any circle anywhere. And as much as, you know, the leakers and people in the community think they know everything, I imagine Xbox has a couple little nuggets under wraps that they don't, unless you're Phil, unless you're the video production team, unless you're on that set, you don't know what this is. And that needs to be the thing that hits. Because Project Omen, we know about Project Typhoon. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff, but a lot of it, if you're hardcore in the scene, you kind of know it's going to be there. Yeah. So I want them to end it with something that just has me out of my chair. Let's wrap it up in a big way. Get me excited about the future of Xbox and surprise me. All right, give me a little treat. Give me something no one saw coming. And that's where I'm at.
Which is about the only thing that Ubisoft did successfully today. No one expected Avatar to be there ending the show.
Yeah, that I honestly had not heard any the Rabbids thing. We knew about Riders Republic. A bunch of it we already knew about, but that was like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, something new. So let me get these super chats real quick. I've been sitting here pumping in the house again. Will Hellblade 2 be there tomorrow? So I've heard no, but I want it to be. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but I guess we'll see. What do you guys think?
Yes, no, maybe so. Hellblade 2, if it's there, it's not going to be a big gameplay splash. People should not expect that. I've heard back and forth a ton on that. I imagine they want to show it in some way. I would love for it to be in engine or something, because we already saw the the developer diary. Here's us taking pictures of some environments. Here's us working on the game.
Mocap.
It was cool for hardcore fans, but didn't show well, generally speaking, for the game. So even if it's just a little slice of something in engine to give me a better idea of this world, I'd be fine for that. But yeah, I'm not expecting like Senua battling demons or anything like that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Hellblade 2 is now a bigger game than perhaps when it was announced. I think they saw the reaction, the scale, and they are like, oh, we need to up this. Moreover, Game Awards is a great time for that, which is, I mean, that's not an original idea, right? Game Awards is a great place to showcase stuff for next year because of the timing, right? It's closer to the end of the year. You've had more time to develop. Theoretically, people are getting back into the studios. So certain games have probably consciously delayed themselves to be showing it at Game Awards or just at another event. Sure. The timing of E3 probably just didn't work out in Hellblade 2's favor.
Yep. Fair enough. And Hassan in the house, thank you, brother. Hassan, hit the like button. Yeah, what he said. I like it. So thank you, brother. All right, Dan, you've been quiet, man. Other than dropping bottles and who knows what else is going on over there.
It's always the same.
What do you think is going to open the show? What do you think is going to close it?
All right. So here's the thing. Here's what's going to open the show. They're going to be like, "Hey, Flight Simulator's out.
Oh,
go play that."
You think they're going to
open the show, telling you to go leave the show and play?
I'm going to tell you no, because it's going to be like 200 gig, and it's going to download. So by the 90 minutes it's over,
you got to prep that download.
You'll have it ready to go right at the end of the show. So I'm going off the.
I like it.
So I'm going with that. And then they're going to close it with the Forza Horizon 5. If that's actually real, I have no idea. I hope so. And that's how they'll close it. Starfield and Halo can be in the middle. We all know that that's coming. Yeah. It's fine. Or they can end with Halo, but I'm going to stick with that just to be a little bit different.
You're giving us something different, that's for sure.
Right. And the issue that I take with the whole thing, it's like, we can look and see what Xbox future is. I've been waiting for that shit for 5 years. All right. So that's the only problem I have with this kind of stuff is like, we've been waiting. And I know everybody always says, hey, it takes time to develop. I understand that. But there was a big gap. And regardless of what, Dominus, Ophilus, or whatever his name is. Ophilus. Yeah, I mean, it's I understand how everything works. I just, I just want some games, man. That's what I want. I want some games this year. Because the last real first party game I played was probably Gears 5, and it's been forever. And I've just been waiting. It's just a fan that's hungry. It's like looking at Nintendo and going, what have you done from me? For Nintendo's worse. Don't get me wrong; they've destroyed my anything I can. I just
all right. We've had that rant. Move on.
Yeah,
move on.
Moving out to Nintendo. Anyway, I want to see some games. I want to see stuff coming out soon. I don't need to see stuff that's coming out 5 years from now. We know Avowed's coming. We know Fable's coming. We know what's that one Rare's doing?
Everwild.
Everwild, right? That's coming. Yeah, there's so much stuff coming. Show me new stuff. Halo's obviously going to be there. Starfield, it's going to be new. Show me what Bethesda's got up their sleeve. As many studios as you can show me. Hellblade 2.
Because
it's coming.
Bethesda, or ZeniMax Online, right? They have a new IP they're working on too, and have been working on for a while too that we haven't heard about.
There's a ton of stuff. I think.
Tons.
I want to see what's soon. I guess I don't need to see stuff that's we're going to be playing on the Series X2. Down the road sometime. I want to see what's coming out for that. I want to see some games that are going to be specifically made for that new console. That's the stuff I kind of want to see. And we're going to get that eventually. That might be, I don't know when. It's that stuff won't be soon, I don't think. But I'm just tired of waiting, I guess. As a fan of Xbox, I'm just tired of waiting. Oh yes, that's two. That's if that comes, I mean you can shut the show down after that. And just be done with it.
Shut Xbox down after that.
Right. Yeah. No, but it is what I mean. That's we'll see what happens, right? I mean, I'm excited to watch it. Was it 90 minutes? Is that what it was?
90 minutes.
That's a lot of time, man.
That's a lot of time.
Right. Let's not do.
Summer Game Fest was 90 minutes, but he had a bunch of filler in there.
Yeah, I just
and the Valorant tease.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But just show me some games that are coming out within the next year. Let's just say that. I mean, that's probably being generous, but I want to see Compulsion's game. Maybe they open with that. Maybe they're like, hey, check this out.
That's the one I've been waiting for.
Yeah, right. Too. That's my hashtag. Just one right there.
I know. Me and you talk about that all the time. It's like Compulsion, man. Compulsion.
Yeah, I mean, we could. That would be a good thing to open.
Learn their name. Watch.
Facts.
I mean, that was that's the kind of stuff I want to see, and I want to see stuff. Just give me some stuff now. So Halo is fine. And I know everybody likes it. I know I'm going to play the single player version of it.
This year, you can't complain. We're giving you this year now.
Right. I don't care because I don't play Halo.
All right. I'm hearing this like it's nothing coming out this year talk.
I want to see the stuff that's coming out this year.
You gonna get it.
That's what I want to see.
All right, I feel you.
What do you think about this
that's
Pampa
fair.
back with this Hideo Kojima making an appearance?
Jesus.
Oh, you want the big get hype? You want the big get hype moment?
Let's go.
That'd be it.
Let's
As
spice
long
it
as
up
they don't
here.
allow him to
Spice
speak
it.
about being creative, I'm good with it.
Only if he
So-
comes out with like Jeff Keighley, like on a dog collar.
Yeah.
Like if that were then yes, 100%. I'm all in on that.
Damn.
So
Um,
that would be amazing.
Oh my
mean?
God.
Amazing. Like I would bow down.
Cog,
Nicholas Thomas.
Cog, you see what I'm dealing with?
I'm just saying.
He out of control. He out of pocket.
Did the count go up or down on that one?
Yeah,
You, listen, Dan, you saved that for the Game Awards, bro.
that's true.
Yeah.
But Jeff's already out there. It'd be an awkward transition.
Oh my
This is like, hey, what's Jeff doing? He's nothing. He's done with his stuff.
And Keeley be
Here
like,
it
wait, you coming out for Xbox? I don't know if I can let you on the stage.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, man, I'm good. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
All right.
That's my
Yeah,
huge.
that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
I like it. I'm
Well, I think-
confident.
I don't know. I think I'm further out than all you guys
Let's
because
go.
I'm looking here and almost all of you have opening with Halo,
Mhm.
and then closing with either Halo, Starfield. I honestly believe that they're going to open with something brand new that we've never seen. It's going to be
Okay. You want that
an
open?
opening kind of black into I forget who someone just said it
Miles.
into a new IP we kind of question, and that won't surprise me if that leads into here's who's developing it.
Yeah.
They are now part of Xbox Game Studios.
Fire.
And then I completely agree with Miles where I think they're also going to end with a new IP.
See, that's what
something
I
that
need.
we weren't
Yeah.
expecting.
That's what
Something that will literally get everybody talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we have this habit, we all do, all of us Xbox fans do, of overhyping these damn events.
Yeah.
We do it every time.
Never once done it.
No, super realistic expectations.
Oh,
We do it every
100%.
time. Every time we say, yeah, people are like, haven't you watched the last few years? And every time we're like, yeah, but this year.
This year.
Right.
This year going to be
It's
the
Wait
year.
till
Right.
next E3.
Like,
baby.
why should we? And I've asked this before. Why should we have to temper our expectations as fans?
Preach. Thank
Why
you.
we should
With you,
never
Dan,
have to.
with
We
I
should be
know.
expecting greatness, not only from Xbox,
Mm.
not only from PlayStation, but from
Appreciate
everybody. I mean, I'm not saying that every game's going to land like, a
Right.
God of War or Red Dead Redemption 2, but we shouldn't have to keep our expectations in check. Just so we're not disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm
when
with
it
you,
actually
brother.
is shown.
I'm on that type of time. Now, that's
Let's,
what
talk,
we have.
let's talk
crazy.
more about Red Dead 2, by the way.
Yeah,
But
it's fantastic.
Boring.
Get him out of here. What are you doing?
Yo,
I'm done with
yo, the
this.
timeout button
I'm done
is
with
real out here.
What
I'm
are we
done with
doing here?
it. Addict.
I'm
Whenever
done
you get on
with
my nerve, I can hit this button. I need this. Y'all need this feature. This is high level hosting.
Look, immediately,
Posted
Mr.
it.
Bad Take was back in the chat. He's like, okay.
Mr. Memphis said, great show. The minute you got it.
He agrees with me about Red Dead. Seriously?
That's why he's not on the panel. So
That's
watch
right.
yourself.
That's right.
Oh, man.
But no, I really do think they're going to end with, joking about the hype aside. I think they need to end with something people don't expect and something that'll get people talking. They need this
They
show to
need
hit.
it.
I mean, they need it. And we've said that before. I get it. But this is Xbox and Bethesda now. And I know you said it earlier, Calger. You might have said it on Xbox too yesterday because I was listening to that earlier. But one of the biggest shows I always got hyped for was Bethesda show.
Bro, you know how they gave it up.
Yeah.
We went to those press conferences, brother.
They're awesome conferences. They talk about a lot of stuff. They have big IPs.
Mm.
They don't always land 100%, but they're good shows.
Yeah.
And I just think the expectation of 90 minutes now Xbox and Bethesda, knowing the year, knowing what Xbox has done, knowing they're leading. You don't set an expectation with Phil and Satya that they're all in on gaming and then come out with a crappy show 2 days later.
That's what
You just
I'm
don't
at,
do
bro.
that.
I'm with
So
you.
they've gotta hit this out of the park. They just have
Yeah.
to.
No, I'm with you.
And so anyway, the leading, I think they open with something new, they close with something new,
Okay.
and we get all the expectations in the middle.
I'll be
We're gonna
fine.
get
Fine.
the 7 minutes of Halo Infinite in the middle, right? We're good. And Miles, I think you said it for Halo. Everything we're hearing is multiplayer, right? But it won't surprise me what they, in my opinion, and Luke, I think you and I are on the same page as this. Miles, I don't know about you, but the issue with Halo 5 was obviously not the multiplayer, right? It's the narrative, it's the story.
Yes.
So you have the characters. Chief is a goddamn global icon, right? Why you ever designed Halo 5 to move away from him, I don't know. Slap that person, send them on their way, get back to Chief. But you have Chief, you have Arbiter, you have all these iconic Halo characters. If you're going to show Halo and you're going to show multiplayer, that's great. Trust me. I'm in with you. Give us 90 seconds or 2-minute trailer of narrative.
I would
Show
love
Chief
that. Yeah,
talking
I would
about
love that.
how they're going to get to Cortana.
Yes.
Have Arbiter next to him. He's got the best voice in video games. I forget the actor's name, but he's
David Keith.
Yeah,
David Keith.
Okay. Is that right? Or Keith David. No, it's David Keith.
Keith David. Right? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Set the narrative tone.
Yes.
So that you know that this Halo is not only going to deliver this incredible multiplayer experience that you just highlighted.
Yep.
But that, hey, we understood. We missed the beat with Halo 5. Chief is here. He's focused. Here's what we're doing. That's what they need to do.
Tease the flood.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm with all that, bro.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
No, I like your approach because, I forgot to say my end, but I agree with you and Miles. Like, I want the end to be something new. I also want the end of it to be graphically impressive. I think one thing that Series X, I don't say struggled, but I feel like, outside of like Hive Busters and some select moments where you really get to see graphical fidelity from the console, we get to see what developers can do. So whatever they show at the end, I want this thing to kind of be like a jaw dropper, like, wow, did you see how that looks? Like, it's super impressive. And to walk away from that with so much anticipation. To Dan's point, because I know he's frustrated, he wants stuff this year, and I feel him on that. I think also I don't want to understate, the Game Pass presence. You know what I'm saying? And I think them attaching their name to, like we see for the Back for Blood and stuff like that, but more big anticipated titles that may come release this year that are now seemingly feeling like they're going to be synonymous with Game Pass. I think that's huge. The publishing stuff, I'm really looking forward to that. I think people are really understating that. So I'm hype about that. And the main thing, they just got to present well. You know what I'm saying? One thing
I heard you say that yesterday, and I was literally nodding my head while I was listening to you say it. 100%.
That's all I want, because at the end of the day, like, sometimes Microsoft, I feel, has these great games, and they don't always showcase them in the best light. Yeah. I even remember with Gears 5 last time, we got like a multiplayer reveal, and then we didn't get we saw like Kate's face morphing, but we didn't get to see like a narrative beat. And that game was so cool. Like, Gears ended up coming out being a really solid game, but I just felt like it didn't showcase right with the narrative. So I'm with you with Halo on the narrative. Like, what is Chief doing? What's the, the motivation? What's going on? Like just a little bit. You got to give a whole gameplay thing away. Yeah, just set the tone. The main thing is presentation. No cheesiness, no goofiness, no too many personalities, unless it's an announcement, but then get the pacing right, in and out, game. We have to make it more about the presentation of games than personalities. And I think if they do that and showcase well, because that, I always say, Sony does fantastic. You see Horizon Forbidden West, developer comes out, says something brief, and then they just go. Right? You just want them to go, let the game speak for itself. And if they do that, and that's what I'm hoping, like you said, Ains, with the Bethesda acquisition, with the Bethesda influence, we know how they know how to present. One thing about Bethesda, they get their fans up, excited, in a frenzy. Right? So the fact that they're making the conference synonymous, the Microsoft Bethesda conference, gives me hope that, hey, they're pulling out the stops. They're gonna be something exciting. And to your last point, I'm with you completely, Ains. You don't get out with Satya and Phil before a show to talk about your commitment to gaming, to not demonstrate your commitment to gaming. So you got to come out there, man. And that's where I really believe in the acquisition talk. Look, I'm excited, man. I think they like it's for them to mess up, because at the end of the day, the pieces are there.
Everything's there.
Yeah, they just got to organize it, present it correctly, and I think Xbox fans will be fine and be excited for the future.
If this 90 minutes doesn't pop off, I'm literally sending Miles their way so that he can create the video, because you've got all the pieces here. Just let him put it together. You guys don't know what the hell you're doing if you can't put this.
Bro, Miles got me hyped. He's giving me the black. He had the timestamps. I was ready, bro.
Telling you, you got all the. If you have all of these pieces we've talked about for 90 minutes now, and you can't create a good 90-minute show, seriously, just get out of production, Go find a different career and let my Xbox get someone else in there, because this should be easy.
Should be a cake, slam dunk, man. It's a layup. Let's go.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to my boy Ellie at Direct Gaming. What's up, Bitcast? This is our SG writer who's in Australia. So I think it is like, I don't know what time it is on the other side of the world, man. It's like a 14-hour difference or something. So, but what's up, brother? Good to see you. All right, all kinds of chat popping off. All right, guys. So we've talked about kind of all those key things. Dan, one thing I was looking at as you were talking about like coming this year. So we've got Psychonauts 2 we didn't mention, right? And that's obviously a far bigger game than was originally planned, it seems like. So that could be a big hit, if you enjoy that type of game, obviously. We obviously know the Ascent's coming July 29th. We know Halo's coming. And if everything's to be believed, right, we are going to get Back 4 Blood in Xbox Game Pass in October. And we're also going to get Forza Horizon 5 this year. So even right there, you've got some pretty damn strong titles.
That's a holiday right there.
Finishing up the year. Yeah. I mean, you know how much time we put into Horizon 5. I won't even get started on Halo, but yeah, I mean, right there alone. Never mind anything else they surprise us with. I don't know if you guys saw, but I got excited about him with Cog on the panel too, because I know he's right there. Is there are a lot of swirling as of yesterday about Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, that's been making the rounds. There's we talked about that in our kind of expectations video as well. That it sounds like nothing's official until it's official, but it sounds like Obsidian's going to be showing up in a big way at E3. So
get me right.
Outer Worlds 2,
Obsidian is their Insomniac. I swear, man.
I love Obsidian. Oh my god, I love him.
And I hope we see something for Grounded as well. Like, I don't know how far out they are from 1.0, but it would be cool to have like 1.0 of Grounded in the slate as well. I'm expected something from the Grounded team, and then I'm sure we'll get updates for stuff like Sea of Thieves too.
Yeah. For sure. No, I'm with you, James. I think is the potential is there, for our Outer Worlds 2 possibly. We know that they obviously I've had the devs on Iron Lord's podcast, and they're finished up as far as tremendous DLC, Bernard Arenados, but the relationship, bro, you owe it to yourself. That's some whodunit vibes with just a completely different style of game, very colorful, very quirky, and you got to play it for the frame rate upgrade alone. Like that.
It's one of the best DLCs I've played in the last 2 years.
My man,
it's that good.
It's that good. But the thing is, we know the relationship with Private Division, that's up now. So, shout out to Megan and the team and the narrative, writers over there. Like, there's a possibility they could be. They seem to have multiple projects going on. One thing about Obsidian, there's a lot of things cooking in that studio, and I'm with you. I think they are the most underrated acquisition. And before the Bethesda thing announcement, the ZeniMax announcement. To me, I was like, that's the studio to watch. Yes. No disrespect to anybody else. Ninja Theory's fire, Playground, everyone else is fire. But they seemed the most prepared at the time of acquisition to continue to have stuff ready to go. You know what I mean?
They gave me that classic BioWare vibe.
Yes, the RPGs that you know what I'm saying? You know where we going with
Mass Effect ones. You know what I mean?
Here we go. He had to throw it. Salute. No, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I am absolutely pumped for tomorrow. I can't wait. So, guys, we'll leave it as this. Anything thinking about this show and everything we've talked about, anything you haven't touched on you want to see? Obviously, mine is Banjo. I'll leave it alone. But I do agree with Jez and Nick yesterday on Xbox 2 saying Banjo is underutilized and they should be capitalizing on his popularity 100%.
It is time.
Thank you. As completely agree. It doesn't have to be this huge AAA game. It doesn't. You don't have to put Playground Games on it, but you have an icon here that represents an audience that you don't really necessarily capture very well. There's a reason he's in Smash Brothers. There's a reason people went nuts when they saw him.
That game should have been ready to go. It should have been a cross-marketing deal where even if you give the remaster, have it ready to go and just gauge interest. If you're unsure to commit, gauge interest. But I feel like Nintendo completely benefited from all of that. Yeah. Where Microsoft closed the IP. Like
I'd be willing to bet that a percentage. I'm not going to throw a percentage, but some people who play Switch and play Smash Brothers and use Banjo don't even realize that that's an Xbox product.
Absolutely. Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Same with Fortnite for Chief, right?
Which is even crazier. when
They're
you're
like the
talking
guy
about
from
FIFA.
Fortnite got his own game. What? What?
He's battling some guy named Craig. You didn't hear about it?
That's my
It
die
is-
inside when someone
but,
tells me
but
that
my
on the
point
street.
stands, right? Like, it's an icon, and like you were just saying, all you even had to do was take the first game, remaster it, bring it up with modern controls, modern cartoony graphics, let people reignite that love or discover it, and then you can gauge interest to see if you want to invest in the whole game. But just to not use Banjo at all in any way makes no sense. And almost the same for Conquer. I know a lot of people, it was even in the chat earlier, people saying they'd rather see Conquer, and I get that. I think you could do something with both of them and to some degree, but just Banjo is bigger than I think people realize, the love for that franchise. For God's sakes, they're still making first four figures is still making statues of Banjo and the characters from it, and they sell out like that. Like it makes no sense to me.
It's real.
So maybe they need to buy some more studios.
Yeah. I'd like to see some more third-party games announced. I mean, like that are coming day and date.
Yes.
to
Game Pass, you mean?
I'm
Yeah.
telling people that's the secret weapon, right?
That's
Yeah.
one of the keys, I think, to it continue to expand, because, we always say, and we said earlier, the games are coming for the first party stuff, but, give me some of those third party stuff. Give me the MLB, give me the
I think
Outriders.
Back for Blood was supposed to be
Back
one
for
of those
Blood.
big announcements and
Yeah,
got
yeah.
ruined
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
that's
Oops
fine.
in the video description of the premiere. Oops.
Yeah, who
Oops.
does that?
Oops.
So if anyone listening is not
Yeah.
aware, they basically uploaded a video that's going live in 2 days for Back for Blood, but in the description it literally says launching on Xbox Game Pass. So that was supposed to be saved for tomorrow, but we
Right.
pretty much know that's coming. But
And
Dan,
then-
your point is very valid for sure.
And maybe Battlefield does come to Game Pass still. I mean, I know everybody's calling, oh, it's 10% off with Game
Which
Pass.
is
So is
good.
everything else in Game Pass. So
That's
They
EA
could
Play
just-
though. It's the same on PlayStation.
well, right, but I mean, it's 10% off. I mean, the games are 10% off now. I mean,
That's what I
yeah. So maybe it does. Maybe it does. I'm still hoping it does. So we'll see what happens, man.
Slap them. I think Battlefield, there was a lot of conversations around Battlefield coming into Game Pass. People wanted it and made sense. As soon as I saw that Back for Blood was confirmed, or not, it's not confirmed yet, but pretty much confirmed. I don't think they're going to put two big AAA games
That's fair,
like
true.
Back for Blood and Battlefield into Game Pass the same month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
as,
true.
As amazing as that would be, I'm just going to be grateful for my 10-hour trial and then go
that's
from
what I'm
there.
No, Miles, I'm with you because at first I was like, man, it's a slam dunk, right? Put that thing in Game Pass, get that engagement. Then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, EA's gonna want to milk this thing a little bit,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And I was like, most likely, like you said, it'll be in that trial, like how EA Play used to do before they were merged completely into Game Pass, which would be that 10-hour trial. You get it access maybe like a week early, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. And then my prediction is maybe second next big DLC or something like that. Then we may get a Game Pass announcement. But to your point, EA I think knows the value of this thing, and they want those pre-orders. They want to, you know what I mean? They want to cash out.
I want
here's
that
the thing, though,
$70
Carl.
a pop.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's the thing. Like, do you gain more by putting it in Game Pass? Because you're getting more people into the game. You're getting more engagement, which is what they're going to make their money off of.
Right.
So you sacrifice that $70 for
Right.
potentially triple that,
I
or
feel you.
something down the road. So I mean,
especially
EA
as
is
they're
kind of
selling a
backward
season
thinking.
pass for it.
Right, exactly. So I mean, you're looking at a way, like I think you tweeted it out, Ainsley, where it's kind of a backwards thinking nowadays. 5 years ago, I would have agreed with you, Cog.
Mhm.
You got to get that initial investment from the gamers. Now you don't have to, necessarily. You're still going to get that to some extent, with say PlayStation or and even Xbox and PC, But I just think they could make probably a ton more. We get more hands on it, and you can see, we talked about it earlier, MLB 21. I mean, I can't even imagine how much more they've made putting that on Game Pass as opposed to just throwing it on the Xbox. I mean, you got to kind of, it's a different kind of marketing nowadays. It's a different kind of market.
I'm with all that. Everything you said is common sense. I just say it's EA though.
Right, that's the problem. Like, what are they thinking?
It's EA. They've been known, man.
I know.
Guess, the question to me becomes down like, how big was the bag they would want up front from Microsoft to commit to that? Right. I think that's what it comes down in the ballroom. But everything you said makes perfect sense. Like it is upfront engagement, upfront user base. You already got the microtransaction model. You already got the battle pass, season pass model. Yeah. So that if they were in there, you're gonna get that money. You've seen the examples, but it's EA.
That's it. That's the only thing stopping.
Like I said, in that tweet you referenced, which by the way, my random Battlefield tweet was the most liked tweet I've ever posted on Twitter.
What did you say? I missed it. What did you say?
Basically what Dan just said. I basically said that no campaign, no battle royale, $70 and a $50 year one pass.
Facts.
Just seems like outdated thinking in 2021. When you look at Fortnite, when you look at Warzone, when you look at Apex, and when you look at Halo is going free to play multiplayer.
Yep.
It just seems like outdated thinking. That's all I said.
No, I agree. That's why I feel it's the perfect model for Game Pass. It makes perfect sense to throw it in there. But it'd be interesting. I am, all this being said, I am looking forward to the gameplay reveal. They did say it was going to be on the Microsoft stage. I'm a Battlefield guy. I like Battlefield in a modern setting. I think it showed phenomenal. I like my little gimmicky Levolution-y kind of things and tornadoes and people jumping out planes with rocket launchers. I like all that foolishness. I'm about sign it up, rolling with the squad, playing conquest mode.
Yeah,
I'm all about it. So I'm curious to see how it plays. But pie in the sky, then I'm with brother. If they say Game Pass in any way, I'm gonna go crazy because I think it's perfect for it. I'm just trying to temper my expectation only on that because
you're probably right.
Sometimes gets in the way, man. Get in the way sometimes.
All's right. I still am all in. Don't get me wrong. I'm still buying it.
Oh, I'm in there. I'm day one.
I've been complaining about the $70 price point.
Yeah, I've been in there.
I'll be there.
Another.
Here's the thing, though. I've noticed I buy everything. But now, when I see these games like Outriders, like MLB coming to Game Pass, it's changed the way I look at getting games. Yes. Biomutant was another one where I was like, man, I hope it comes to Game Pass because I'm kind of like.
But it got a 9.
Right? You got a 9.
You doing it
I'll click the button.
You doing it.
I got it right here.
You keep doing this. Yeah, it's kind of changed the way I'm purchasing stuff because I'm seeing, I'm still continuing to want that value. And so now I'm kind of like, maybe it'll eventually come to there. There's so much other stuff that I don't have to get stuff day one. I don't have FOMO. I don't have, all that stuff. There's certain games that are going to 100% be day one games. Yeah. It's just so much different, especially with a multiplayer game where I don't play very much. Right. So it would be the perfect game for me because I love Battlefield 2, but I don't know if I want to jump in at 70. And a year ago, I would have said, I'm getting it for sure.
Okay, here's
now
the
it's
thing.
Different.
You're on fire because at the end of the day, at some point, because of the EA relationship, it's going to be in Game Pass. At 100%. Some point, it's the perfect. So you have the luxury with this model. Say, you know what? It looks fire. Maybe I respect anybody that says, look, ain't no campaign, $70. I'm not doing it. But you have the luxury. There's so many games and Game Passes, all these things. And then at some point, because I've been in that scenario you mentioned where it's like, damn, I really want it, but is it on my priority because of these other games right now? You know what? Right. I can wait. Sometimes I benefited greatly, especially Bethesda's catalog and Doom. And I'm like, I'm so glad I waited. That bad boy came to Game Pass. I feel like I got it for free. I'm like, yes. So there is value and patience with the Game Pass model. There is value.
And the games are better. They're objectively better than when they launch. Almost all of the AAAs are better than when they launched.
Good point.
And that's exactly why I'm looking at it like that because I bought Doom a week before it was announced that it was coming to Game Pass before all the Bethesda stuff happened. So it was like, why am I doing this to myself? Because that was one of those games where it's like, I want to try it out. It's on sale for $30 or whatever. But then if I would have just had a little bit of patience, it would have been all right. But at the end of the day, that's we talked about what's going to be there. I mean, Game Pass is going to be like heavily. That would be the one prediction that I'm pretty confident about. That's all they're going to talk about. You know, I mean, and the fact that it's competing, like Ain said, with Halo and Warzone and all that other stuff. You know, it's going to be a tough sell for some people. I think Battlefield is. So that's why I'm still crossing my fingers. That's probably my pie in the sky.
With you,
please still be there.
Well, imagine,
will it into existence.
Sorry, Miles.
Let's say, will it into existence?
Yeah, right.
I'm trying, man.
So before I forget, in the chat, and I see a bunch of everyone's still with us. So XBuds, I don't know if you're still in the chat, man, but congrats, you've won the 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Salute. Hit me up, DM me, brother. I'll get you the code. Well, shit. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Battlefield Game Pass.
Battlefield. Thank you. So Battlefield has not launched well. I can't remember the last Battlefield that launched without issues. They have UI problems. They have server problems. They have connectivity problems. There's just a lot of issues with those games. So can you imagine in a fall where Warzone's already passed 100 million players?
Yeah.
Fortnite's been crushing it with the licensing.
Yeah.
Halo, after 6 years, is coming back.
Yeah.
All expectations are it's going to be brilliant. And you know damn well Xbox and Microsoft will have that game ready to roll at launch, server-wise. Free to play, by the way. Call of Duty has their new Call of Duty entry coming and a Warzone update coming at the same time this fall with a World War II map. Can you imagine if people go out and spend $70 on Battlefield and it's broken on day one? I'm telling you that the sky's going to fall out from them. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure.
And I say this, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to pre-order. I'm not harping on Battlefield. I want it to be amazing. I love Battlefield. So I'm over the moon for it. But if they come out with the problems they always have, it's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of competition in the space. So yeah, they've got to nail it. No, you with it, man. You're on fire. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
But man, we've been going for a while. So let me ask this final question to everyone, and because we're not gonna cog it over here and go 5 hours. I promise.
Oh, so I was ready. I thought we was at the intermission.
We did interlude.
I thought this was halftime. We just go tag back.
Everyone take 5. We'll be back.
The Iron Lords have that podcast stamina. I swear they be going.
Yeah, have you seen
combat?
Luke? Luke is dying over there.
Poor
right
Luke
now.
is dying.
He's slowly falling out of his chair.
You can see the blood sugar crashing.
Yeah, you can see it. I see it. It's always funny when I'm podcasting because I do see it at certain points.
He said one sentence in the last half hour.
I'm awake and I'm here and I'm alert. Okay.
Okay. But we weren't going to cover all the other ones. You got Square Enix coming, right? We've got Capcom. We've got 2K. You've got all these other conferences still to happen. You got Nintendo. What outside of Xbox and Bethesda or anything else that we didn't touch on, what other thing are you hoping to see over the next few days that you could get excited about, if anything?
I want the X-Dong.
You want the
X-Dong?
Yeah, the dongle.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Like that's going to be like.
Oh man.
The reason why is because because that would be the ultimate name for the Xbox dongle that will eventually come out.
X-Dong?
The X-Dong.
The triple X dong.
The triple X dong, whatever it's called. That's what I want. I mean, I want to I would buy that where I don't need it, but you
don't need it. You just want that dong.
I want the X dong. Like, you can come out and announce this stuff because they hinted at it, right? We're gonna get the app on TVs, but we're also getting a dongle.
Don't ever make fun of me about anything ever again. Ever again.
Mark my words. If it comes out and it's the X dong, I'm calling Phil and I'm gonna be like, listen, I want my money, dude.
Dan has been preaching about X dong in the DM.
I have.
With the cut.
Okay. If that happens, I will give you any amount of money you want. If Microsoft comes out on stage and like, we've partnered with so and so to make a device easy to access Game Pass anywhere and on any display.
Dude.
Introducing the X-Dong.
Yo!
I mean, I'm on it. Like, I'll order 5 of them today.
Oh my God.
It'll just happen.
Woo!
That's right. See, Xbox knows what's up. He's sold on it already. Sold. There you go. That's my wish.
Xbox said sold. Hashtag dongle bros.
Dongle roll, man. For me, it's probably I want to see Square Enix is doing something, right? They
Tomorrow.
do? Yeah, tomorrow I want to see Yeah, I want to see what's going on with them. They got some IPs I'm very curious about. Also I want to see who I think they're like in a fun position between Microsoft and Sony with like exclusivity and Game Pass deals. So I feel like they have IPs that people really want to kind of throw money at, and I want to see where things go there.
You think they're going to highlight Final Fantasy 16? How interested are you in the modern one?
Not too much, bro. To be honest, I'm not there. It would be dope if they give you 6 some love, man. You know what I'm saying? It'd be dope.
You're never going to get it, man. That's like Splinter Cell.
It's like they just trolling, right? At this point. So it's like, but the other thing is the rumored. I'm such an XCOM fanboy.
Yeah.
So when that rumor leak about Marvel, and I ain't gonna front, I know a lot of people may have rolled their eyes, but I'm like, oh, I gotta see how this is going.
That one seems like it has validity, man. I really
do. And shout out to them. We had Firaxis and those guys on before, and I again, to me, I'm more of a turn-based guy than an RTS guy. Turn-based is my heart. And XCOM to me is the pinnacle. So I kind of want to see what they do with the, and I'm a Marvel guy. I kind of want to see what these worlds merge and how they pull it off, and narratively kind of thing. So that's the rumor that I'm dying to see if we don't get the eventual XCOM 3 or whatever it is, because I still feel War of the Chosen is arguably one of the most underrated games of the gen. I mean, if you're in the tournament, I think it's premium content. It's super good. So yeah, those are the two that I want to say. Of course, Nintendo. We got to see what Nintendo does.
Of course.
If they do,
they
Breath
said
of the Wild
40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Yeah, I want to see, because the rumor, if Big Link come outside with that Breath of the Wild 2, I don't know, man. Nobody want to smoke Big Link. He come outside, it's gonna be hard for people to put their release dates around him and the new Switch.
I'm gonna just shut up because I'm talking about that.
You gonna keep your Breath of the Wild?
He'll kick you off the panel if you say something like
that. He got the button on me right now.
I mean, I'll be excited for that game if they come out and it's nothing like the first one.
Oh my!
Oh no! What are you doing?
For the sake of Luke's hunger.
By the way, Daniel, don't try and make Luke feel better.
Right? That's right. It's my turn to talk. That's right. Thank you, Dano. Thank you. Tell you what, Luke Lore's looking forward to tomorrow. I really want to see what they got for War for Wakanda. I really am curious, because I mean, my band Black Panther is not in any games mainstream.
More people are playing Biomutant than they are Avengers.
Oh, he's right.
He's right about that, though. You can't play that one.
I can't fight that at all. But it's the only AAA superhero game we got right now, and Black Panther's coming to it. So I'm looking forward to that part of the Square Enix.
Black Panther and Spider-Man are big additions, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's make or break for that game. That's their Taken King or bust. Really interesting.
I agree.
The game's out if it's not. But I would love to see. I want to say EA is not until July, but Titanfall 3 I've talked about. I would love to see Microsoft land a superhero IP. Black Panther fits very well, but a superhero IP that they can call their own somehow, some way.
Okay.
And more than anything, it's about what we don't know that I'm excited about for tomorrow. It's about what we don't know.
Facts.
Yeah, that's honestly why I'm trying to avoid some of the stuff that's circulating, because I do like being surprised, right? It sucks when you kind of know everything that's coming ahead of time.
Yeah, it is fun to have some sort of mystery to it. There is a leak. I forget the name. It's got some weird name to it, but there's so far everything they've put on the list has been shown so far. So there is a leak making the rounds, especially for the Ubisoft stuff. That entire Ubisoft stuff, except for Avatar. Interestingly enough, everything in the Ubisoft outside of Avatar was on this list.
Yeah, I like that.
So just stay off Reddit if you want to have some surprise. I've been trying to not say anything that hasn't already been out. But I want to see what Capcom's cooking up. They have a showcase. They've kind of detailed everything they're going to be showing, so I'm not expecting anything too wild.
Yeah.
If we could see the Resident Evil 4 remake, if we could see the next Resident Evil. But Resident Evil Village was on their list, which is interesting because I kind of wasn't expecting DLC for it. But
Me too. Yeah.
I've beaten that shit 7 times, so I will go back to any content they add. I'm ready for it. Square, I wish Rand was here because it sounds like Team Ninja is going to be making a Final Fantasy Souls-like.
Yep.
And I'll be there for it day one. Final Fantasy turn-based, I'm sleeping. Final Fantasy Souls-like, okay.
Then you woke up. You woke up.
Okay. And then Nintendo, obviously, I know last time I was on, we just dunked on Nintendo for a while, but I'm excited. 40 minutes of Nintendo is a lot. They normally keep it really tight, really short. So 40 minutes, that makes me feel like they have some cool stuff to show.
I have to think they're going to spend at least 10 on Breath of the Wild 2.
Breath of the Wild 2. Oh, I don't. The Switch Pro. Where I'm at with Nintendo right now. I love Nintendo. I want to play Breath of the Wild 2. I better be able to play it on the Switch Pro.
Yeah, no facts.
I don't even care if it's 720p, but please give me 60 FPS.
Give me the 60, yeah.
Please.
A little DLSS, whatever y'all was doing.
And you can at least display higher if you're docked, right, on a TV.
Yeah, yes. Because I booted up Breath of the Wild a few weeks ago to like dive back in, and I was like, oh no.
He said, "Oh no."
4 years ago,
I did that every time.
4 years ago, I was like, "Let's go." I didn't care. I didn't give a damn how it looked. Didn't give a damn how it performed. And now I'm one of those fucking guys who's like, "Oh, it's not 60? No, thank you."
You got boosted. You got boosted.
And it sucks. I didn't used to be that guy. But
next gen.
I hate that I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
right there. I'm like, oh,
30.
30.
So I turned on. I'm playing Ratchet and Clank, which is amazing, by the way. And it's default in quality mode, which is the ray tracing 4K, but it's 30, right? And I played it for about 2 minutes, turned side to side, and you can see that kind of camera judder, when you turn. Yeah. I switched it to the performance quality mode, which is the 60 FPS high resolution, no ray tracing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm never going back to quality mode. Like, it's not even, it can't do it anymore. Yeah. It just doesn't feel right.
I feel you.
30 FPS makes me nauseous.
That 60 hit different, bro. It do.
Can't do it. By the way, Diego just called out the what would instantly be my favorite game of the show, which is mature AAA. Give me a Punisher game from Coalition. Let's go.
See,
now we're cooking up some ideas. Seriously, now we're getting somewhere.
Give Punisher justice, man. Come on, and I'm not like the chump who's on the Netflix show. I mean real justice.
Whoa!
No way! Real Punisher.
And
knows my beef with that.
Shame for what they caught a straight.
Who hurt you, dude? What's going on?
Yeah,
he's not my hashtag not my Punisher. That's
John Barenthal.
Are you going for Thomas Jane's version? You know what? No, I'm hungry.
Did I say Thomas Jane? I didn't say Thomas Jane, did I? You just went there. See,
he's a Tom Hardy guy
that likes Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider.
Who do you want? Who's gonna make you happy?
Look, not whoever the midget is playing him right now.
Oh my, give me!
Oh man, damn!
I can't.
Savage.
That's just
now my ex-dong thing seems mild in comparison. This is great.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that dude straight like that.
That
I'm a hungry
guy,
Ains.
He could not intimidate me if he was face to face with me. I'd be looking at him like this, like, what are you doing? That is not Punisher.
He's kind of a dum-dum, but I mean, he's all right.
No, he's not. He's not. No, as a guy and as an actor, he's fine. I have no problem with him. He's just not Punisher.
You just called him a midget.
He said a classic line in that.
Punisher's supposed to be intimidating. That dude is not intimidating. Do you think he's intimidating?
He said, "I get him."
I want to hear. I want to hear one of you say John Barenthal's intimidating as Punisher.
No, we don't. I mean,
dude, the prison sequence. For Punisher, one of the greatest sequences anywhere. That dude was ruthless. That dude was murdering.
With Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's right.
They have great technology and camera angles. You know what I mean?
Oh, get out.
Are you going to square up with John Barenthal?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ains. You kidding me right now?
What are you doing, Ains?
He's 170 pounds, guys. Stop thinking camera angles make a hero.
That's all about that lean muscle, bro.
Or someone you can't square up to? Give me a break.
You foul, bro.
You guys are out of control, man.
You're
watching TV too long. Cog, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but it's like at some point, like artistic, sometimes you got to make some concessions if the guy is the guy for the role. You know what I'm saying? But I feel
we're way off topic anyway. But
no. King is that way. He with the dude that plays Wolverine, he feels that he's too tall. You know what I'm saying? So he's like you, the
technically
opposite.
Is.
Yeah. So you're a purist, and you want the physicality to match the character and stuff like that. I get it.
I've got a note to King's credit. I got a Punisher statue right there, literally to my right.
No, he's an imposing dude. I feel you.
He's supposed to be a big, strong. Yeah. Never mind. I'm done.
He's like, I'm leaving alone.
I'm done. Leave it alone.
Too far.
See, look, Dan Lazaro, Super Chat Punisher started crying, and I turned it off. $2 Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh man.
All right.
I just want to say that performance was absolutely fire. I have no complaints with John Barenthal. I do not condone any of this.
Same.
This is nonsense.
Same. He was
Unsupported.
awesome in that role.
Unsolicited.
He was awesome in that
He's
role.
like, I do not associate with anything that has been said over the last.
Exactly.
So was
The
Charlie
opinions of
Cox
season
and
game.
Michael Coulter and Ritter, Kristen
Mhm.
Ritter. All of them, except for the going to put Iron Fist, were fantastic.
We can throw Iron Fist all in the bushes. They don't have to bring
Right?
him back.
Yeah. Dude's not even a martial artist,
That's
man.
the dude I hate. Yeah, fact.
Right? He's not even a martial art. I can tell, like, dude, your sidekicks off. Like, that's
Go some witch.
So now form fitting the characters matters.
Oh my God.
ability.
I want to see the
Whoa.
throwdown, the 2v2 tag team, Luke and Ains versus Iron Fist and Punisher. Let's go.
First of all, that'd be awesome. I would love that. That'd be amazing.
I'd
It'd
do
be
it.
an honor
Just pay me.
to fight John Byrne.
We just saw a fake fight go 8 rounds for 30 million. I'll go watch
Y'all
another
want
one.
to see a fake fight? Look at Lamar Odom knocking out Aaron Carter. Oh my god.
Oh,
All right.
All right,
Okay.
bring us back. Someone bring us back, please.
What are we even talking about now? What?
I blame Danilo Pinero. He threw us off.
I blame it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I can't wait for tomorrow's ILP and Xbox Showcase. Salute to Lord Cognito. Always keep it gaming. Lucius, thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Asa in the house from Game On. What's going on? All right, guys, let's wrap it up. In all seriousness, wrap it up. Anything else top of mind before we close out, guys, for the rest of the E3 weekend?
Nope, I'm good. X-Dong.
All right, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. This has been one hell of a show. I don't know why I took it off of on a Punisher side tangent there at the end, but we're all right. So, Luke, host of the Xbox Expansion Pass, guy who's going to get put in the brig every time he brings up my review. What's happening, man? Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Insipid Ghost. You can find me hosting the Xbox Expansion Pass on all your podcast services, including YouTube, which I appreciate all of you guys checking it out. Tomorrow's XEP will be featuring one Miles Dompierre, which I'm very excited about. So that'll be a great
Miles
one.
on world tour right now.
That's right.
Making the rounds, baby.
That's right.
Fire.
I couldn't. Yeah. So I'm honored and privileged to have been here with you guys today. Thank you for having me, and to anybody else, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of E3.
There you go, Miles. Sounds like you'll be on XEP tomorrow. Host of Windows Central Gaming. You guys are doing a live show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we are. We're dabbling. Trying to expand a little bit on the Windows Central stuff. So I'll be doing a little live reaction. We're doing a pre-show. We're gonna do a live reaction, and we're gonna do a post-show kind of analysis, breaking down what Xbox did, if they moved the needle, and then kind of talking about what's next for Xbox there. So we'll be doing that. You can hit me up on Twitter, just at Miles Dompierre. Like Luke said, and we hanging out with him for Xbox Expansion Pass. It was awesome to hang out with Lord Cognito, Ains, Dan, the squad, Rand. I do love Rand. I know we have a fake internet beef, and I ramp it up. I ramp it up a lot, but Rand's an awesome dude. And Archimedes, that was my first time hanging out with him as well. So that was really cool to kind of get to chat with him. So appreciate all of you guys hanging out. And tomorrow's going to be so damn fun. And I'm really looking forward to it.
It is. It's going to be crazy. It is. It's our holiday, man. I think Cog said it. It's our Super Bowl, man. This is what we love. This is what we talk about. So, Cog, I know you guys are obviously doing stuff as well, man. Big show tomorrow. Yeah. Again, I say it every time. Our audience knows where to find you, but go ahead, man. What you guys up to tomorrow?
Yeah, at Lord Cognito on Twitter. You already know. I Lord Podcast on Sunday. Sunday's the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. Xbox has blessed us with our time slot that we normally do for the podcast. I'm like, oh, great. So we're just going to live reaction this thing. So again, if you guys around, you want to hang out, feel free. Just have a couple of other content creators. Kind of just a loose vibe, just chill, just watch it. Get our analyzation, our natural hype levels to what we react to, that kind of a vibe. But Ains, man, salute, man, for bringing me through. This is a fun, great cast, great show. Shout out to Archie, shout out to Rand. Always good podcast with them. The Ghost, my man, is here getting all type of slander today, but it's always good to see him. You know what I'm saying? Of course, my man, Miles Dompierre. You know what I'm saying? Yo, good content creator. Love your energy. Love what you've been doing. Good to see you making the rounds and stuff like that, man. So always a pleasure to podcast with you. Of course, Dan, the man. They better drop something in 2021 or he gonna be pissed. Exactly. He gonna be upset. Give him the dongs or whatever he looking for.
Give me something.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me the dongs.
You better make me up. So, brothers, I love that you're happy. And at the end of the day, now this is fun, man. I love this time of year. You know, under normal circumstances, we'd be together. Yeah. Making the rounds is always a pleasure. I remember, going to E3 and both of us would be working, but we'd see each other in passing and doing making our little 1-2 at the interviews. It's a fun time of year. It's virtual this year, but we're glad it's back. The world hopefully gets back to normal. And then next year we do it how we intended to do it.
We start making plans.
Plans. Every one of you on the panel, man, would love to have a drink with one of the lords and just talk gaming at the event. You know what I'm saying? It's truly the Super Bowl of gaming. It brings gamers together. It's a fraternity, and I love to see that. So good to see the spirit back. Energy's hype. Everybody get excited. Don't let no one take your joy. If you're excited for something,
that's right.
Be excited. Yeah. Don't listen to what Twitter said. Be excited because this is a fun time. If you love gaming, it's a celebration of games. And I'm excited, man. But great show, Ains. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, no, 100%. Be excited. Enjoy whatever it is you want to enjoy, whether it's something we talked about or not, or something we slandered. Blame Luke. But no, just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy, man. It's there are so many great developers making so many great games. We are in the golden age. We're living in it right now. This is an era of gaming where you literally can find anything that you want and enjoy it. So do that, man. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Chat, you've been amazing. Anyone who listens to this on our audio services, man, just know how much we appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was definitely a great show for us. I can't believe we broke the 100 live user mark or watcher mark, which is awesome. Thanks. I love that you guys, of everyone that we have on this panel, was here for that, because there's a reason you guys are here today. So no, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for the time. Dan, man, anything you want to shout out before we go?
No, I'm good, man. Let's get excited and get those expectations up.
Yes.
Crank up 10 out of 10, right? Let's go.
10 out of 10. Show me the stuff. We'll be ready to go, man. This is one of the best times of the year, for sure. So I'm ready to see some stuff tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe I'll do like a reaction show afterwards where I just eat like Ben and Jerry's tiramisu or something, ice cream. And then while I'm eating, I'm just going to give my reaction. Like,
I'm not going to tune into that.
No? Can I do it on the SG channel?
Is that some premium tier content?
I thought so. Yeah, I was going to.
That was Twitter page.
That was a Patreon. Yeah, that was our Patreon that we're going to start launching. Yeah. No, I'm just excited, man. Super excited. Thank you guys all for being here. To everybody that was here before. It's been awesome. Great show.
Yeah. Thank you guys again. Guys, everyone in chat, we will obviously be talking tomorrow, man. Let's all have fun. Hell of a time of year. Bitcast 158. Thanks for being here. Peace.